All right, looking at the loop downtown, not that bad. I've seen it worse. We do have some brake tapping, but it looks like everything is moving. Same goes for northbound 65 up to the South Loop, and then eastbound 440 over to 24. We do have a stalled vehicle in Brentwood on the left shoulder, 65 northbound between Old Hickory Boulevard South, exit 74, and Harding Place, exit 78. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Hello, kids. Welcome one, welcome all. It is the Matt Murphy Radio Show underway for another day. Happy to have you with us on this Tuesday, August 5, 2025. My name, conveniently, is Matt Murphy because that's the name of this radio show. We've got 4 hours together today, and I hope you spend every single moment of it with us, wherever you might be listening or watching from. Perhaps you're on the radio. Many of you are, 99.7 FM, from Alabama to Kentucky and all points in between. Of course, we're on Spotify and TuneIn and iHeart and all of those various app-based platforms. You can find us there. Just type in SuperTalk 99.7 WTN. While you're over there, download our app. Take us wherever you go in your smartphone technology. That is SuperTalk 99.7 WTN. You can also find us. I just like to give you all of the different ways to watch or listen or do whatever. You can watch the show on Talk TV. That's YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch. I have no idea why you would want to look at me. I am horrible to look at, which is why I'm in radio. But if you do, every so often you get a glimpse of the lovely, the talented, the beautiful Ken Weaver. Every so often you get a glimpse of Jackson Williams, although you're being accused of not putting that mug on television enough there, Jackson.
I put it on camera.
Do you?
There are nincompoops.
Yeah? What about other times? Like
Never.
right now? Like right now.
They want to see more of you, Brother
They
Jackson.
want more Jackson, less Murphys. That's what the cries are on the Super Text line, friend.
What's up, fellas?
What's going on?
What's going on, Brother Jackson?
What's happening, everybody? Everybody having a good afternoon?
I'm having a good afternoon.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Busy?
Yeah, it's busy, but it's flowing. Like, the news isn't really difficult today.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes the news is difficult to write,
Mm-hmm.
and you got to research a bunch of things. I don't really have any. I don't have a lot of research stories today. There's a lot of news that's not politics. When it comes to the political news, that's when you got to do a whole bunch of researching.
Yeah, some days you get that. What was that president of Rwanda or whatever that dude's name was?
Oh,
You know
that
what I'm
was
talking about?
the South African president.
Uh-huh.
Where his name is
Nimbubu or something.
Remind you that 60% of sales
I
on
have no idea what that is. My bad.
It's Ramaphosa.
Not
But I
Emma,
was calling
you were
him-
saying Ramaphosa.
I was calling Ramaphosa. Apparently, the H in South Africa is silent.
Yes, and the only reason any of us remember this is because it will not leave Ken Weaver.
No,
It sticks in his proverbial craw.
It was embarrassing.
Oh no! I mean, I wouldn't know any. I mean, I don't even know that I could tell you where. I guess South Africa is the most Southern African nation that there is, so that's the way that I could point it out on a map. But other than that, I mean, I'm just a boob in here talking on the radio. You're the man with the plan. And by the way, I knew Chris Hand was a liar and the truth ain't in him.
What?
You got no braids or beads in your beard.
He was just trying to get. He was trying to get some more people to click and like and subscribe to
I
the
get
YouTube
it. I
channel.
get it. You know what I do? And we don't talk about it a lot on the radio because I've been asked not to. What I do to get those clicks and likes and subscribes, I just take my pants off. And for the most part, you don't see it. So if you go over to Super Talk TV, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and Rumble, you don't see it. But every so often, Jackson will leave the shot up when I'm walking out, when I'm
yeah.
getting up, and then you can see, like, look,
Hey, so you're not wearing any breeches.
I got camo breeches on so you can't see them. So you can't see those breeches because they're camouflage. What do you? I mean, if you're in the city and you're wearing camouflage to be undercover, you're not doing it right. You should wear a suit.
Yeah, you got to wear a suit and some slacks.
Yeah, or something like that. Cowboy hat in Nashville. That'll get you nice and camouflaged.
Well, and all the tourist girls, they make sure they're wearing their cowboy boots with shorts. Because that's how everybody dresses in Nashville.
The Woo Girls. I have a personal announcement that I would like to make to everyone as I begin the show today.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much. You're learning me. I love that. I absolutely love everything about what you just did. Personal announcement. I'm going home, and God bless my ankle sock collection. But I'm going home, and I'm taking every damn ankle sock that I have in my drawer, and I'm putting them in a pile in the backyard, and I'm burning every single one of them. I don't understand. They're not ankle. They're like lower than ankle. They're the.
It's like you're barefoot.
Yeah, I mean, the design is to keep the sock line low enough where you don't really look like you're wearing socks.
Right. Yeah.
But there is something wrong with my ankles or something wrong with the way that I wear these socks. It's either a physical issue or something I'm not doing right. My feet eat the socks.
I was having that problem too.
Oh,
Matt, you know what you got?
hold on a second, Jackson. Ken,
What?
you were having that problem too?
Yes, sir. But I think what happened is the fatness of my feet finally wore them out enough that whenever I go walking, my shoes no longer eat my socks.
Is it because my ankles are too slender? Because my ankles are too fat? I don't know what it is. Jackson, any ideas?
Matt, you got big feet. You know what that means?
What does that mean, Jackson?
Big socks.
Thank you, Jackson. Is that like a dad joke? That's a crotch joke, isn't it? I think that is. I got a joke for you, fellas.
Oh, God.
I got a joke. I'm thinking about starting the dad joke of the day because nobody else is doing it.
I've got a whole deck
You
of
got a slew
cards
of
of them.
I got one. You ready? I got mugged by 6 dwarves last night. Not happy.
That's pretty good.
That's a slow
I like
burn.
that, dude.
It's a slow burn.
I
Slow
got
burn.
one for you.
All right, let's go.
I thought about going on a peanut diet, but that's just nuts.
You know, you always say, like, erstwhile producer
Yeah.
for
Uh-huh.
me? Yeah, I'm looking forward to that now.
Are you now? This is the good stuff right here.
Oh,
This
God.
is the Tuesday edition. Wait
was-
till Friday.
That was horrific.
Brother Jackson, you haven't seen anything yet.
Yeah, it's coming. That's just the good stuff. We're working you in slowly. All right, so that's the pleasantries of the show. It's episode 857 of our proceedings together today. It is also day 193 of Donald Trump's second term as president of the United States of America. That's of 1,460.5. We like to remind you of those numbers because it freaks our liberal friends out. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I'm either wearing them wrong or my feet are just too fat, like Jackson says, or whatever. But I eat every time I put on these low riders, man. You know, see what I'm talking? See, this is what I'm talking about. See these guys?
Yeah, go right up in your shoe.
And then there, and if I walk to the bathroom with it like that,
Yeah,
before you know it, the heel has eaten it,
yeah.
and it is in the shoe.
Mine's not doing it anymore, man. I think I've finally stretched them out enough or something to where they don't do it.
That's what I should do. Just yank on them.
Yeah, yank on them a little bit, like I used to do whenever I try to cover up my love handles with a shirt.
Oh man,
I'd pull it over my knee.
I am of the opinion that if I get a bigger shirt, I mean, because we're the big boy show on Super Talk 99.7 WTN, and I'm not calling anybody a big boy.
We're just big. We're big dudes.
I mean,
Big
I'm
bones.
just saying that's what we are.
Yes,
we're
sir,
big,
big
bones.
bone.
And yeah, I'm of the opinion that the bigger the shirt, nobody will notice that I'm big underneath it,
right.
right? So
Right.
let's just get a bigger shirt, and then and I don't like my clothes touching me.
Well, I don't either because it was rubbing the hair off my love handles.
Oh no, I
don't have any hair.
I was today years old when I learned that Ken had hair at one time on his love handle.
Oh, I'm a hairy fella.
Yeah. I told somebody yesterday or day before that they were talking about my mustache, and I don't like my gap in my mustache. I feel like it's like a gap in my teeth. I got a gap in the mustache, and I don't like that. I wish I could fill in this gap.
You mean there's no hair?
Yeah, well, I mean, you can see it in there. I mean, look at
Little
it.
bald spot.
It's a gap. It's like I got a tooth gap. Like I got a Michael Strahan tooth gap, a David Letterman tooth gap, only it's in my hair on my mustache. And I said, yeah, I'd like to have a Burt Reynolds stash, but I don't want to have hair on my ass. and what? And I'm like, well, I think those things go hand in hand. If you got that big, robust stash, you're going to have hair other places.
Yeah, you're going to look like an Ewok at the
Yeah,
pool.
man, and I'd just as soon not have hair on my back or on my hiney or whatever.
Oh,
So
I got lots of it.
Well,
Ken, are you part Ewok?
Well, I'm about as tall as one.
I want to start the show this way every day. Can we do that? Just not talk about the news. Just talk about other stuff.
Just talking about stuff.
Just talk about things. Hey, good afternoon, y'all. Hope everybody's having a good day. Hey, Hunter Biden's got a new gig.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, we're going to talk with Hunter Biden.
What's he doing?
Please don't make me believe him again.
Apparently, Hunter Biden's got a new job. He, I guess his art career not working out anymore for him. What a load of garbage. This guy, man. What a load of garbage. I mean, he lives off daddy. I mean, by all accounts, and look, I'm not accounting for his politics, but by all accounts, Bo was at least a sensible human being, and he did something with his life in terms of his military career. And thank you for your service, Bo Biden. But this Hunter, just a crack addict, and he's hiring whores and living off daddy's money and bilking the taxpayers out of cash. I can say that. Don't you look at me that way.
Well, it was taxpayer money that
That's right.
went to the ladies of the night.
Well, and then he's over in Ukraine, and then there's Joe, and he's protecting Hunter in Ukraine because he's on the border of Burisma, and he's making $50,000. And then people are like, oh, we want to buy Hunter's artwork. No, you do not. Did you dump Jackson Williams? Jackson dumped me.
I heard a word that I did not think that could be said on radio, so I hit the button.
Was it a gardening tool?
No,
That was not the one? The gardening tool one?
I mean, that's part of the word. It's when you added the RE.
So you're suggesting that I could get away with the one but not the other?
I didn't hear the first one, I guess.
What about
I know.
hoo-ah?
No, I'm saying if I used it like almost as a slang, if I just said HOE, would that be okay?
I'm going to get fired either way. Let's just go for it.
If I spelled it out,
Full blownsies. Just say whatever you
Jackson,
want.
I appreciate you have my back. I
Brother
really
Jackson
do.
is on it, man.
I just get so offended when I look down and the green buttons flash. I'm like,
I know you even did when you said the F word.
he dumped me. Well, I mean, no.
like-
When I said no,
You were like, you dumped me?
That's not true. I remember how I said it then. I said, you dumped me, right? I didn't say, you dumped me. I said, you dumped me.
Yeah.
There's, you dumped me. You dumped me. You dumped me. You got me?
What'd you say, fiddlesticks?
I said Fred Funk.
Oh, yeah.
Ken.
Oh, yeah.
Glenn.
I mean, Glenn, not Fred. Fred
God,
Funk
you-
is that's a golfer.
You have
That's
a
a
tough
golf-
time with that
Yeah,
name.
but I don't like Glenn Funk. I said Glenn Funk, the district attorney of Nashville. And I said that I didn't say his last name right. I'll just put it that way.
Left the N out, Ken.
Added a letter too. Hunter Biden revealed that he will be starting his new job working with a nonprofit homeless prevention and tenants' right group in southern Los Angeles. The former president's son made the announcement during an interview with Channel 5 podcaster Andrew Callaghan, which was posted on YouTube. I just think there's such an opportunity to be of service right now, he said, and not in, some kind of melodramatic way, but a lot of people that are, getting the bleep beat out of them out here, right in L.A., there's an opportunity for just normal people to do kind of heroic things.
That's profound.
I'm going to say that again. I just think there is such an opportunity to be of service right now, and not in, some kind of melodramatic way, but a lot of people that are, getting the bleep beat out of them out here, right here in L.A., there's an enormous opportunity for just normal people to do kind of heroic things. So is Hunter Biden saying that he's a hero? that he's the hero that he might not be the hero that they deserve, but the one that they need or something like that?
It sounds like it.
Well, good for you, buddy. He's now working with a homeless prevention organization called BASTA.
Basta.
Didn't he have one of those, a BASTA,
Leave
like in Kansas City?
I think so.
Little girl. That's mean. All right, we got that going on. The grand jury on Russia has come out and listen, this is going to get good. We'll tell you about what AG Pam Bondi had to say about that. Liberals cannot stop complaining about the Music City Tunnel. And we will discuss that same a little bit later on. Byron Black is dead, and I'm having a difficult time caring. But the mainstream media, boy, they want you to know that he said that it hurt before he died. And polls are generally speaking trash. I'll remind you why I think of that today when we talk about the Trump polls. Polls are trash. These polls are absolute trash. Generally speaking, polls are trash. I'll tell you why. Generally speaking, they're trash, and why specifically these polls are trash. Plus your telephone call, 615-737-9986. We'd love to communicate with you, either via the phone lines or the super text line or any other way you want to get on board. Thank you for being with us. It's The Murphy Show on Super Talk. You know, oftentimes I don't understand what health insurance covers and what it doesn't cover, or at least I was that way up until I met Shane Ring and Cover Nash. Shane Ring takes the confusion out of health insurance. I mean, it's a confusing deal, right? And sometimes I feel like the insurance companies want to make it that way, so you don't know exactly what they're covering or what they're not, what your deductible is and what it isn't, what your copay is and what it isn't. If you want to take the math out of health insurance, call Shane Ring and Cover Nash. They are not here to sell you an insurance plan. They are here to act as your concierge for all of the insurance plans on the marketplace today. So they're going to find you the right plan for you that fits your budget, that covers what you need covered. They're going to do it quickly. They're going to do it right now. You don't have to wait until some open enrollment period months away from now. You can do it right now with Shane Ring and Cover Nash. And I encourage you to go and meet with him in Brentwood in his offices. You'll just see the way that he does his business, and it's good to sit down with Shane and talk to him one-on-one. Call 615-465-0023. That's 465-0023. Or online at covernash.com. You can handle it on the phone or in person. They're right here in Middle Tennessee. It's Cover Nash and covernash.com. Hello, friends. Genesis Diamonds does diamonds better than anyone else in the market today. And I want to talk to you about that for just a moment because it's in truly their DNA. They dream about them. They obsess about them. They go to the ends of the earth to find the best, and they make sure that every diamond that they sell in their 2 stores, 2 locations, Green Hills and Cool Springs, have that incredible something, that sparkle, that brilliance. They have every diamond graded by the world's most prestigious gem labs, and they look well beyond the 4 C's. You'll hear about the 4 C's at Genesis Diamonds, but they guarantee that it's not just acceptable, it is extraordinary. The experts there are passionate about diamonds, and they will show you all of the inside tips and tricks how to maximize value. In other words, they're going to educate you on the diamond buying process. Genesis is your source for hand-picked GIA-certified diamonds at the guaranteed best prices. So you need to know all of that to know this. Trust that Genesis Diamonds is going to be your one-stop shop for all things diamonds. Now, if it comes the time where it's an anniversary or a birthday or an engagement or a just because, it's time for Genesis Diamonds. No compromises, just the best diamonds at the lowest possible price on the market today. Go by, say hello to them, and tell them that Matt Murphy sent you to Genesis Diamonds. In Green Hills, in Cool Springs, it's Genesis Diamonds.
All right, the search is over for the quadruple murder suspect. The state has carried out the lethal injection execution of Byron Black, and today is the first day back to school for Metro students. And we'll tell you about the SRO situation to keep kids safe. Coming up at 3:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Yeah, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. You looking for a job? Apparently, Hunter is not looking for a job any longer. I bring this up because I figured maybe Hunter applied for the Immigration and Customs Enforcement positions that are opening up around the United States of America and was denied. I don't know. Hunter apparently has found himself a job. What a way to live, man. I mean, I guess if you have no shame, it's a decent enough gig. But to work off your daddy's name for all of your life and to just suck people out of their cash just using whatever little influence you think you have. I mean, remember the Clinton Foundation? When Bill Clinton was no longer president and Hillary Clinton was a senator and then a secretary of state and then a presidential candidate, the Clinton Foundation had hundreds of millions of dollars in it. Zero evidence that it really ever did anything good for anybody. Oh, they'll tell you, oh, we did this and that. No. And, man, when she lost the presidency in 2016 to Donald Trump, the Clinton Foundation dried up to nothing and closed shop because it was always influence peddling. That's what it is. I'll give you access to power if you give me money for me to use on me. That's it. That's what Hunter Biden does. He sold access to his daddy. And now he's got to go out and get a different kind of job. Well, if you're looking for a job, U.S. Immigration, I should say, and Customs Enforcement wants you. They announced what is it? It says Thursday. What is that? I guess that's last week. Yeah, I guess that's last week. Said Thursday that it had already extended more than 1,000 tentative job offers in a press release after the Department of Homeland Security unveiled its Defend the Homeland campaign to recruit new ICE agents. I'll tell you more about this coming up in just a moment. If you're looking for a gig, and already there are some departments that are getting annoyed because ICE is trying to poach. I saw this down in Florida. I wonder if the various departments around the state of Tennessee will feel the same way, where they're like, hey, man, don't poach our guys because they're poaching officers from Florida and Tennessee and other places. They're, kind of swiping them away, which I guess is a tactic. But some of these departments are like, we're helping you do your job. Don't poach our guys. Get other guys. We'll talk about it next on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
3:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. Right now in Tennessee, the search is over for the man who police say killed a family, then left an infant in the front yard of someone's home 40 miles away from the murder scene last week. Suspect Austin Drummond finally captured after appearing on home surveillance cameras in Jackson. Here's NBC's Priscilla Thompson.
Police have said they do not believe that this was a random attack. They believe that it was targeted. And we have heard from a member of this family or who knew the victims who said that Drummond was close with the family. And in fact, he was, quote, nothing short of amazing. So it's unclear what exactly happened here. Certainly something that police are looking to learn now that they have him in custody.
Yeah, police say they don't know why the family members were killed, and they have not said how. Right now in Nashville, the state's carrying out the lethal injection execution of Byron Black, convicted of murdering his girlfriend Angela Clay and her 2 young daughters in the 80s. Crowds gathered this morning with protesters on both sides of the issue. Family members of the victim say this day has been a long time coming.
We've been waiting for years and years and years. This day was coming and this day has come.
The cousin of one of the victims there says instead of all of the appeals, she wishes there was more effort in solving other crimes rather than stopping justice from being carried out. And today is the first day back to school for Metro students. And this year there are more school resource officers than ever before, but not for every school, as we hear from Channel 4's Joylyn Bukovac.
Metro Police say some larger schools like McGavick and Antioch High have 3 officers each, but right now only 9 elementary schools have a full-time SRO. And to help cover the rest, the department is using overtime pay to bring in off-duty officers as patrol support. The police chief says that they are still working to fill the gap.
Yeah, and there's a weapons detection system installed in every Metro high school. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. All right, police reporting a crash 40 eastbound right before Charlotte Avenue. And the buildup is now definitely getting bigger, if you will, slower, if you will, for the ride home. Northbound 65, right there between the South Loop and 440. Then eastbound 40 over to 65. Eastbound 440 over to 24 from 65. That's very heavy. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Affordable, convenient, and comprehensive medicine delivered the old-fashioned way. That's what it is at Grace Point Healthcare. Hello, friends. It's Matt Murphy, and I encourage you, if you're looking for a primary care physician, I would encourage you to contact Grace Point Healthcare and talk to them about their direct pay format. It's so simple. You don't need an insurance company getting in your way between your relationship with your doctor and yourself. And with that in mind, they don't do it at Grace Point Healthcare. Now, obviously, you can file for your insurance company for reimbursement, and the system works, essentially the same way. But in their format at Grace Point, you pay Grace Point, you talk to Grace Point. The insurance companies don't dictate what type of treatment you receive. And at Grace Point, they treat the whole body with a comprehensive medical approach. I love this. They don't believe in treating symptoms. They want to get to the root of the issue and figure out what's going on in your body to stop it. They're not there to keep you coming to the doctor. They're there to get you healthy again. Isn't that a nice way of looking at it? 599-6868. They treat the whole family, and you don't have to wait 2 or 3 weeks for an appointment. They can get you in same day. Ask about their Smart Care plan and how HSA can pay for that Smart Care plan now when you contact Grace Point. 599-6868, 599-6868, or Grace Point Healthcare Modern medicine delivered the old-fashioned way. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Donald Trump, is this this was a little while, this was just a minute, wow, how long ago was this? I'm going to look this up on Truth Social so I can get you a timestamp on it. I'm seeing a repost from a Truth Social post from Donald Trump that happened 24 minutes ago. So this is hot off the presses after our show already started. By the way, my name is Matt Murphy. It's the Matt Murphy Show. Ken Weaver's in the newsroom. Gathering headlines as we speak, delivering them twice an hour. Young Jackson is on the ball, controlling the experience, making sure that everything that comes out of our speakers sounds as good as humanly possible. By the way, Jackson, before I get to Donald Trump's truth post.
What's up?
4460 says, hey, if you get Jackson fired from this job, does he still keep the sports gig?
I think it depends on what we do.
Okay. 0500 says, Jackson's the man.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it, boys.
I don't know that I agree with that. Jason writes in and says, Jackson is too bleeping trigger happy.
A little bit. Gotta be
then-
on my toes with Matt Murphy.
And then Brian says, come on, Jackson, you can say whore on the radio. It's in the Bible.
Gonna keep saying it, aren't you, bud?
Well, I think Brian has a good point. I think he has a good point. All right. Thank you. I just thought you would enjoy that some folks on the Super Text line have your back, John.
Oh yeah, I got the super text line.
I think you're feeling a little bit better today. I was worried about you yesterday. You were I felt like you were in the dumps, but then late in the show you told me that you were just hungover.
I was not hungover.
That is a factual.
I was just feeling the weekend a little bit.
Excuse me, Jack. Hey, Ken.
Well,
I'm just reporting the news.
I just covered the news,
I'm just
boys.
telling you what he told me.
That's all I covered.
And I said, man, Jackson, you tied. Can I tell the story or maybe I should not? You want me to? I said, Jackson says to me, I'm going to go ahead and tell it. Jackson says to me, I'm just kind of feeling the weekend. I was like, man, you tie one on Sunday. He goes, no, Saturday. And I was like, whoa, Saturday. And he goes, yeah. I said, so Monday you're feeling it from Saturday? I'm like, you're not a spring chicken anymore, kid.
I feel like once you hit 25,
it changes.
it changes.
It does.
Because
Yeah,
this was one of
100%.
my first outings after 25 like this, where I was just feeling it yesterday.
Uh-huh. I'm telling you. You can't bounce back. Remember 21, 22? Just throw down till 2 o'clock in the morning. Next day, 8:30. You're back. Let's go.
Yeah.
Can't do that anymore.
Go all night long, go home, sleep for an hour, and show up for work.
I had a buddy, Ken, when I was doing music radio on the rock station in Augusta, Georgia. He told me, he said, I said, Mark, how do you do it? Because, he started his show at, like, I guess it was at 6.
Yeah.
And he goes, all I know, he said, there's many a morning, because the station, it was Augusta, but North Augusta is just across the river in South Carolina.
Right.
And he goes, there were many a morning that I was driving across 13th Street Bridge with a little glass in my hand, tinkling ice. It's like, what? He said one morning he was on the air and he couldn't get the weather out, and the boss called him and said, "Damn it, Summers, you're drunk." And he goes, I really couldn't argue with him. 'Cause he was,
Yeah, what's your response there?
yeah, well, you got a point, boss. I'm at work, though. I mean, what do you want?
I made it in.
I didn't lay out.
I showed up.
Yep, I showed up and I'm showing out. Anyway, Donald Trump is showing out on Truth Social. Crime in Washington, D.C., writes Trump, is totally out of control. Local youths and gang members, some only 14, 15, and 16 years old, are randomly attacking, mugging, maiming, and shooting innocent civilians, or citizens, he said, at the same time knowing they will be almost immediately released. They're not afraid of law enforcement because they know nothing ever happens to them, but it's going to happen now. The law in D.C. must be changed to prosecute these minors as adults, to lock them up for a long time, starting at age 14. The most recent victim was beaten mercilessly by local thugs. Washington, D.C. must be safe, clean, and beautiful for all Americans, and importantly, for the world to see. If D.C. doesn't get its act together, and quickly, we will have no choice but to take federal control of the city and run this city how it should be run, and put criminals on notice that they're not going to get away with it anymore. Perhaps it should have been done a long time ago. Then this incredible young man and so many others would not have to go through the horrors of violent crime. If this continues, I'm going to exert my powers and federalize this city, make America great again. And he shows a photograph of a young man bloodied, shirtless, blood all over his pants, blood all over his chest, blood on his face, the apparent victim of an attack in Washington, D.C. So Donald Trump is threatening to come in and take over Washington, D.C. and federalize that city in a manner in which he can take over law enforcement control of said same. Frankly, far too many of our cities are run into the ground by Democrats. And I don't pretend that Donald Trump has the ability to do that in Los Angeles or Nashville or Dallas or wherever it might be. But I think he's got better authority to do it in Washington, D.C., and apparently he's ready to go on it. We'll talk more about that. And this will lend itself to the liberal narrative that Donald Trump is, wait for it now, a dictator. That's right. Young Rachel Maddow over on MSNBC. That's right, MSNBC, MSLSD, has now said that Donald Trump is a dictator. More coming up on that in a moment. Robert is up first on the Matt Murphy Show this afternoon as we open up the phone lines. Hello, Robert.
Hey, can you hear me okay?
I hear you great, Robert. You sound good.
I've got a good dad joke for you since y'all were talking about dad jokes earlier.
Okay.
Has anyone ever told you about the roof?
Has anyone ever told me about the roof? No, I've never been told about the roof.
Don't worry, it's over your head.
Yeah, I knew that was. We can't do this, y'all. We got to stop it. Here's what I've learned over my many years of doing a radio show. I got to put the kibosh on it. No more.
Oh, come on, man.
Because if we do it, that's all we're going to be doing.
I got a whole deck of cards.
I know you do. One of these Fridays when there's not a lot going on, I will dedicate an entire show to dad jokes.
We ought to get a sponsor for it.
Dad jokes. Everybody's got them. Dad jokes. I'll come up with a tune. There was a tune in Prairie Home Companion about bad jokes. Bad jokes. Everybody's got them. Bad jokes. Anyway, we'll come up with a tune. We'll get a sponsor. What do you think of sponsor dad joke?
I don't know. I've got some ideas,
I
but
do
we
too.
probably can't discuss them on the air.
Yeah, we probably should talk about that off here. But we'll get a sponsor for it. We'll do it. Full show. Friday show, that'd be fun. When fewer things are going on. Whole show. Full of dad jokes.
I don't know if we got to do the whole show.
Oh, now Weaver's backing off on it.
Well, I mean, we still got to get nincompoops in.
That's true. Well,
And Friday.
a lot of bad jokes going on there, too.
I'm sure Jay has some dad jokes.
And there's no
You know he does.
doubt in that. No doubt in that. 9756 says that last caller, Robert, was just phoning it in. Phoning it in.
I know they're corny, man, but I freaking love them.
Don't get me started on the bar joke. The bar joke, I could go all afternoon on bar jokes, just bar jokes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Did you hear about the crime wave that's happening on our city streets, Ken?
No,
Two peanuts were walking down the street on Lower Broadway. One of them was assaulted.
well,
You see what I
now
did
see,
there?
but peanuts can't walk.
Hey, Ken,
Yes.
a set of jumper cables walked into a bar.
What'd they say?
And, the barkeep said, "What do you want?" And the jumper cable said, "I want a drink." He said, "Well, I'll get you a drink, but don't go starting something." Jumper cable. Get it? Jumper cable. A skeleton walks into a bar and says, "I'll have a beer and a mop." That's a good joke. That's a good joke. I don't care who you are. That's a good joke.
All right.
Because when he drinks the beer,
Yeah.
you see what happens. And never mind. Where did Jay get his law degree? Yale.
Yeah, I like that one too.
Acting ICE Director Todd Lyons said the surge in recruitment levels represents interest from, quote, patriots who want to serve their country and make a difference in people's daily lives. He noted the financial benefit of being offered after Congress passed the Big Beautiful Bill. This story coming from the Tennessee Star, which provided nearly $30 million in funding for the agency. People who have received tentative offers will qualify for incredible benefits we're offering under this unprecedented initiative, including $50,000 bonuses and student loan forgiveness. This is great. Potential new hires were announced last week after Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem visited Nashville in July. She said that cities where local leaders passed ordinances blocking law enforcement from cooperating with ICE would see additional scrutiny from the agency. She also made remarks specific to Mayor Freddie O'Connell, who modified an executive order in response to a May enforcement operation that saw nearly 200 illegal aliens detained, accused of doxing after the names of Department of Homeland Security agents were published by the city as a result. Of course, Mayor Freddie O'Connell says that was just a accident. The secretary added O'Connell and his administration playing politics. They're playing politics to a dangerous level that are risking people's lives. One way or the other, there's great interest in this recruitment campaign nationwide. They're seeing tens of thousands, almost 100,000 applicants nationwide already at Immigration and Customs Enforcement, and I absolutely love it. I'm here for it. Now, speaking of Donald Trump, we mentioned this latest that he came out with less than an hour ago regarding Washington, D.C. Well, there are some in Washington, D.C. and beyond that feel like Donald Trump has already become the D word. The D word, meaning dictator. We'll tell you what Rachel Maddow has to say about it in a moment on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Friends, Efficient Heating and Cooling and Jeff Eddy want you to know that you can trust their diagnosis when they come to your home and they make it. And I'm telling you that it's the truth. Jeff Eddy understands that you need maximum life out of your AC unit. And sadly, a lot of times when you're trying to make a decision whether to repair or replace a unit, the person you're talking to is just going to default to replace because it's easier that way. They make more money that way. Well, Jeff Eddy understands that you're on a budget and you need maximum life out of that unit. And if he can get you to the end of this season, that's a great thing. And they try to do that with you every step of the way. Plus, if it is time, they'll tell you it's time and they'll give you that sad news. But then they will talk with you about what to do to replace the unit. They're an Elite Pro partner with Rheem. They can help you make the right decision for you and your family, and they have free financing available, or financing, I should say, available on your next unit. All you have to do is ask them about that option available for you. 615-784-4424. That's 4424, or online at efficienthvac.net. Efficienthvac.net.
Had a fatal crash in Murfreesboro today. Someone in the crosswalk. And the search is over for the man police say killed a family in Tennessee, then abandoned a baby 40 miles away. And one day in the future, when families sit down to dinner on the moon, we'll tell you how their lights might run. Coming up at 4 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's a professional tease right there.
Wouldn't that be something, sitting down to dinner on the moon?
That would be kind of cool.
I just reached down and grabbed a big old handful of cheese.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's up there.
That's what they say.
How would you? What is a? You remember when Will Ferrell did Harry Carey?
Yes.
Who's made of cheese? What if it's made of hot dogs? Would you eat it then? I would. Wash it down with an ice cold Budweiser. Jeff Goldblum just losing. If y'all have never seen it, you got to see it.
You got to go look at it.
So we're so glad that criminal element has been apprehended out in Jackson Way, out in that part of the Tennessee area. But Ken, I need an update on another story that we were covering last night.
What's that?
What about our work release fella?
Oh, yeah.
What about that?
They found him.
Oh, they got him.
Where was he?
They got him. Let me look it up. He was in the general vicinity where they were looking.
Oh,
He was just going for a bathroom break.
He might have been, Brother Jackson. Who knows?
He have all his clothes off?
He didn't have a shirt.
Well, it was hot.
That's a man after my own heart right there.
All right, the first thing I'm going to do when I walk off this work release is take this dang shirt off.
Yeah, it says
What am I gonna
suspected escapee Joseph Beard taken into custody right before dark. He walked away from a correctional work center work detail picking up trash. They're on John Bragg Highway. They searched by helicopter, Storm Point drones, deputies tracked on the ground, and they found him in a dense wooded area right off John Bragg Highway.
Yeah, just hanging out.
Yeah.
Maybe he had, my excuse would be, look, I picked up a piece of trash, and then I found another piece of trash, and then I found another piece of trash.
I was just picking up trash.
I was just picking up trash. I was focused on my job, and then before I knew it, I'm in the middle of the woods.
There's some messy folks out here on John Bragg.
I don't know what to tell you. Put it in the bag. Get it in the bag. Bump, bump. If y'all remember that cartoon, that's good.
I wish they would have found him at Chili's.
Just hanging out,
Just having a margarita.
riding the Dente.
Standing outside because they don't let people in without shirts.
Yeah, you can't come in here without a shirt, fella.
Sipping his marg on the sidewalk outside Chili's.
Just chilling, waiting on the cops to show up so we can get back.
A little chips and salsa.
Get back to the house. Chips and salsa's free, y'all. Not at the Chili's. You got to pay for it.
No, you got to pay for it. Well, wait a minute. I think you only pay one time, but I think you get endless chips. and
Really?
salsa.
I haven't been to Chili's since I got a bad tuna steak.
Why did you get a tuna steak at Chili's? Why?
I had good tuna steak. I mean, what do you get at Chili's? Chili?
A hamburger.
Why don't we get chili at Chili's? It's called Chili's.
I know tuna steak is not what you should get at Chili's.
You know what? Don't at me, bro. Don't at me. Not today.
I bet that tuna steak added you.
Man, oh man. Hadn't been
I bet
back.
it took
That was
you
it.
out.
That was back in. I don't think I've been back to Chili's since then. That was in. I mean, I'm judging these poor, wonderful Chili's franchises based on that Montgomery, Alabama Chili's that I experienced.
Nashville
20
Chili's
years ago.
are elite.
Okay, I believe you.
Have you heard about the West End Chili's?
I have not.
It's a big thing online.
Is it a big deal? We'll
Yeah.
go together. I'll buy you some Chili's if you have a tuna steak. Do they still have tuna steak? That's a good question.
No.
I didn't know they made tuna
They
steak.
probably
Oh.
had that for a week
Like
and then
a-
realized everyone was getting
Oh,
sick.
cut of tuna, so good. That's good. I'm hungry. It's 3 more hours to go on Super Talk.
Four o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. And right now in Middle Tennessee, police say one person's dead after getting hit by a pickup truck in Murfreesboro. Police shut down eastbound Old Fort Parkway at New Salem Highway for hours. Investigators say it appears that person was in a crosswalk when that pickup, turning left, struck them. Also in Tennessee, the search is over for the man police say killed a family but left an infant abandoned in the front yard 40 miles away from the murder scene last week. Suspect Austin Drummond finally captured after appearing on home surveillance there in Jackson. NBC's Priscilla Thompson says the child's parents, grandmother, and uncle were the ones killed.
But at the heart of this is, of course, those 4 people who were killed. Matthew Wilson, 21 years old, Adriana Williams, 20 years old, Courtney Rose, 38 years old, and then the youngest victim, Braden Williams, 15 years old. And you also have that infant baby who we know was spared, that Drummond allegedly left them on someone's property and flagged down help as he made his escape. So still many questions today that police are undoubtedly asking now that they have him in custody.
Yeah, TBI says they found Drummond in an abandoned pool house with several weapons. Right now in Nashville, the state has carried out the execution of Byron Black, who was convicted of the 1988 deaths of his girlfriend Angela Clay and her 2 young daughters, Latoya and Lakeisha. Witnesses reported Black showed signs of distress during the execution, including sighing and breathing heavily, and he told a spiritual advisor that he was in pain, that according to the Associated Press. Later tonight in Nashville, Channel 4's Marius Payton says a plan to rezone parts of the Nations gets a second reading before the Metro Council meeting tonight.
We've gotten calls into our newsroom from a group saying they're planning to show up at tonight's meeting. The proposal is coming from Councilmember Rolling Horton. The plan would rezone over 300 acres and allow for 40-unit apartment buildings per acre in the Nations. Some people are concerned that this will force out local business and allow apartment developers to just swoop in and take up available real estate. Supporters believe the plan would attract new businesses, growing the neighborhood and bringing in affordable housing.
Metro Council could also vote on a rezoning plan to clear the way for a warehouse in Antioch. The building would be twice the size of a Costco on Franklin Limestone Road. And one day in the future, when families sit down to dinner on the moon, their lights may run on electricity from a nuclear power plant. Jim Ryan says NASA wants to move in that direction now.
Solar power for lunar settlements is a possibility, except that nighttime on the moon lasts 2 weeks, making solar panels impractical. So the directive from NASA Administrator Sean Duffy is for fission surface power, or FSP, nuclear energy, to make human activity possible. He wants the U.S. to move quickly to develop FSP for the moon before China and Russia do it first.
That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. All right, real slow going there for a little bit eastbound 40 before you get to 65 on the South Loop. Then northbound 65, you got the usual slowdown up there to the South Loop. And as you get on past 65 and you're tooling eastbound there on 40, it is really backed up at the 24 split there to go either east or west, actually to go eastbound or rather westbound, that is, on 24 over on the East Loop. And then eastbound 440, you got the usual slowdown there between 65 and 24. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Matt Murphy. This is the Matt Murphy Radio Show, and I have a question. And, you know, normally when I have a question, I want to lead you in a particular direction. I promise you I'm not trying to lead you in any particular direction, but this goes back toward the title of today's show. If you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, you know that the 7th Congressional District race is getting a little spicy. Got a little spicy yesterday in the studio as we questioned congressional candidate Lee Reeves on his pledge to support term limit legislation, but he would not pledge to term limit himself, which I think is being a little bit disingenuous with the whole topic, but that's just me. I'm trying to take a Switzerland-type approach to the 7th Congressional District. I'm doing my best. In as much as there's like 28 candidates in the Republican primary. There's only 2 so far as I know, maybe 3. I guess there is 3 in the Democrat primary. Afton Bain, Bo Mitchell announced, and that third one, Vincent Dixie. Vincent Dixie, which is a fabulous name for like a John Grisham novel. Hello, I'm a lawyer, Vincent Dixie, at your service. Anyway, there's 3 in the Democrat side and like 12, 18, 127, everybody and their brothers running in the Republican side of things. I couldn't name them all. But I think you need to learn as much as you can in a condensed amount of time about as many of these candidates as you possibly can, to get a sense of who you want to vote for. We've had Gino Bolso on the show. We've had Lee Reeves on the show. We have Jody Barrett on the show. I've had Stuart Parks on the show in the past. We've not had him on since he's been a candidate for the 7th Congressional District. Matt Van Epps has been invited on the show. I have no idea when they're going to schedule it, but hopefully they'll be on sooner rather than later. And there are many, many other candidates. So I'm not taking a side in these proceedings. I'm determined to remain neutral and present the candidates to the listening audience with an opportunity for you to then decide, should you be in the 7th Congressional District, for whom you wish to vote. And so I'm not leading you in a particular direction when I ask this question. Club for Growth is out with a political ad. It's a hit piece on Jody Barrett. I'm going to play you the ad, and I'm going to give you a little background. And then I have a question. Do we judge Jody Barrett based on things that he said 9 years ago, or do we not? And I don't know. The answer might be different. Maybe some of you already know and like Jody. I like Jody for what it's worth. I'm just asking the open-ended question because it's not that he did not support Donald Trump in 2016. He didn't. I think he supported Ted Cruz in the Republican primary. It's the language that he used in his lack of support. And so, by the way, it should be noted, Club for Growth didn't support Donald Trump in the 2016 primary. Club for Growth said that a vote for Donald Trump would be ultimately an election for Hillary Rodham Clinton. So they've got some answering to do on their own, I mean, for what it's worth. But David McIntosh, who is the head of Club for Growth, put out this hardcore political advertisement earlier today, and they're planning on launching it throughout the 7th Congressional District. Here it is.
Jody Barrett, slippery as a snake in the swamp, slithering around our congressional district, saying he's pro-Trump. But Barrett opposed Trump for president, slandering him with nasty, venomous insults, calling him a liberal douchebag. And when Trump asked conservatives to pass Governor Lee's education freedom plan, Jody Barrett voted no. He'd be just another snake in the D.C. swamp. A slippery liberal we can't trust. School Freedom Fund is responsible for the content of this ad.
Now, I will say that this is the first time, as dirty as I've listened to politics get over the 25 years that I've been doing this radio show, it's the first time that I've heard a political ad use the word douchebag. So, but I suppose you want to quote him properly. So here's what Jody Barrett said 9 years ago. And once again, I'm asking a question. I'm not coming up with a conclusion. I don't have an answer to it. It's up to you. He said, hold on a second. What are you doing? What are you doing, phone? He said, so now the Supreme Court's important. If that's the driving force behind your vote, Ted Cruz was the clear conservative choice. Trump has been vague at best about what kind of justice he will nominate. The GOP had their best conservative candidate since Reagan, and they rejected him in favor of a New York liberal douchebag. So Barrett said that after Trump had secured the nomination for president of the United States in 2016. Now, Jody Barrett says every candidate will say they're pro-Trump. Every candidate will say they're conservative. But only one has perfect conservative voting scores from two separate and independent watchdog agencies. Don't take my word for it or the keyboard warrior experts. Actions speak louder than words. I guess my question for you is it fair to bring up what Jody had to say 9 years ago about Donald Trump? Particularly if Jody is going to, and once again, this is not an indictment or a judgment. I'm just asking the question because it's come up. Is it fair that certain groups like Club for Growth was anti-Trump back in 2016 too. So I don't know. They're kind of throwing rocks in a glass house, it feels to me like. But the question remains. I mean, they're not running for 7th Congressional District. Jody is. And he's running as a Trump man. But he wasn't a Trump man at the beginning. And some would suggest the concern is that these sour grapes existed long after Donald Trump secured the nomination in 2016. I guess what I'm asking is, does it matter to you how he believed about it 9 years ago? And more recently, does it matter to you that Donald Trump supported and promoted the Tennessee school choice bill that Jody Barrett opposed? Now, we had Lee Reeves on yesterday, and I was a little bit frustrated with that candidate regarding he says he's for term limits. I mean, and once again, I don't know these folks. This is not personal to me. I just want to get some truth out of the candidate so we can present the truth to the people of the 7th Congressional District and give you the ability to make the best possible choice for you and your family. So when I go after Lee Reeves, I get, look, I heard it. I heard from the Lee Reeves folks. They were all mad at me. You're being a jerk. Why are you going after him on term limits? Why don't you shut up about all that? And I'm certain that I'll hear from Jody Barrett's folks today for bringing this up at all. But I think it merits the question. If you're going to run as a Trump man today, do you not at least have to speak to the fact that you didn't just say, I'm against him. You didn't just say you're a truth guy. You called him a New York liberal douchebag. I mean, that at least merits an I'm sorry, right? And maybe he's already done that. And maybe and I don't know that for most it matters. I guess for Barrett supporters, it's not going to. my point is this. If you're going to run on being a Trump man, then you at least have to expect that this is going to come up from organizations like Club for Growth, and you have to expect that you'll have to answer to it. What do you say? Does it bother you? That's the question. 615-737-9986, 615-737-WWTN. Tom is in the borough. He's got a thought on it. Hey, Tom.
Good afternoon, Matt. You know what? Politics is ugly. Trump is from New York. Hell, so am I. You know, being a New York douchebag is just kind of sort of what we are.
Yeah, the biggest pejorative in that, you missed it, called him a liberal.
Well, there was a time when he was. And maybe some people went ahead and thought that when he took over and, oh, now I'm a Republican. You know, we've had that argument before, too. Well, you were a Democrat. Now you're calling yourself a Republican. How do we know you're actually going to be conservative? You never know until somebody actually sits down and, you know, says, this is what I'm going to do, or this is the vote I'm going to cast.
Well, it's one of the reasons that I don't, I just don't live in some of these, in some of these areas where because, you say, oh, well, he's a conservative, or he's not a conservative, or he's a real conservative, or he's a rhino. And I think that changes from person to person based who's speaking. And I don't belong to any of the clubs. Which is why I asked the question. I mean, so you believe, from what you're saying, Tom, you think it's fair that Jody Barrett had that position back then?
I think what he said then was then. Trump hadn't gone ahead and come up with anything. He hadn't done anything. And for a good deal of America, particularly middle America, well, this guy was a Democrat. He was a businessman, and look at all the money he gave to the Republicans and to the Democrats. We can't trust him. And maybe that's what Jody Barrett was thinking. I don't know. I've never sat down and talked with the man. But, cut him some slack. Look at his actual voting record and say, hey, do I want this guy in Washington or not?
Following up on that, Tom, does it concern you at all? Part of the attack ad involves the fact that Donald Trump was in favor of the Tennessee school choice legislation, and Jody Barrett was one of a minority of Republicans that voted against it.
To be perfectly honest with you, Matt, if it had been my vote, I would have voted against it as well. I went to private school when I was a kid, but I paid for it. I went out, I got a job, and I did it on my own. I'm not saying that's possible for everybody, but...
you went to private, like higher ed?
Yeah, high school.
High school.
And I went out, I got a job, and I paid for my tuition.
That's excellent.
Well, kind of ignored those labor laws. I was working full-time at 13, but you do what you do.
No, I feel you. Well, point taken. But, I'm curious to get a sense of the audience on
it. You're paying your taxes. Part of your taxes go to pay for the education system. Now we're going to go ahead and take even more money out of the state, i.e. our money, and then we're going to go ahead and pay to send some kids wherever. And is that fair to the kids who can't go? Is that fair to the overall Tennessean?
Well,
I would argue no.
Well, I'm happy to talk to you about giving parents more choices when it comes to the school system. I mean, you're talking to a guy that doesn't necessarily believe that the government of the United States of America has an obligation to educate any child. How about that?
I wouldn't argue that.
Well, I mean, it's the parents' obligation. It's ultimately a parent responsibility. But if the parents don't take up that responsibility, then we better be willing to take up those kids and educate them as a ward of the state, if that's the hard line we're going to take.
But I mean,
anyway, I mean, the
I
point.
think calling him a Nazi is worse than calling him a New York douchebag.
Yeah, I mean, liberals are just lazy with the language. I mean, that's just liberal nonsense. But I asked and answered. I think you obviously, it doesn't bother you that much, and you forgive commentary from those who were anti. I just wonder. I feel like we've gotten to a line, and I think maybe the absence of Trump for 4 years gave us a dividing point. I have noticed that. I mean, look at J.D. Vance, for example. I mean, obviously, J.D. Vance is the vice president of the United States. I posted this question on social media, and someone brought up J.D. Vance to me and said, well, we've forgiven J.D. Vance. And my point with that was we forgave J.D. Vance because Donald Trump told us to. We didn't forgive J.D. Vance because J.D. Vance asked us to. We forgave J.D. Vance because J.D. Vance went to the man and begged his forgiveness, and Donald Trump absolved him of his previous sins and was okay with him being a United States Senator from the state of Ohio, right? And that's how all of that went down. Those that have been forgiven primarily get forgiven by the man. J.D., Marco, Teddy Cruz, etc. I'm wondering how you feel about the matter. 21 after the hour, Donna, John, and Travis, we'll get to your thoughts on this on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. What do you do when you think you might have a foundation problem? Well, you probably don't know because you're not a foundation expert. Because some foundation deals can be normal settling. You know, obviously your home is heavy. It's going to settle in some form or fashion after it's built. But do you know if it's an unsettling proposition because it's settling improperly? Well, you need the experts. You need USS in your life. If you have any of these questions, don't go to bed with these questions in your head. I mean, you're not going to sleep well at night. Sleep better tonight by calling USS. They are your structural experts when it comes to your foundation, when it comes to waterproofing, when it comes to concrete leveling. You can have peace of mind knowing that USS provides an honest diagnosis. They stand by their work. They warranty their work. This is huge. They're based right here in Middle Tennessee, which I absolutely love. They've been doing business for over 30 years. And in that time, they have over 30,000 satisfied customers. Homeowners simply trust USS. Go to USSTN.com. That's USSTN.com for more info. They guarantee their best at USS. Tell them that I sent you 615-488-7855. 488-7855 for USS.
The search for quadruple murder suspect Austin Drummond is over. We've got some more details about where he was hiding out and what sort of weapons he had. And the state has carried out the execution of Byron Black for the 1988 murders of his girlfriend and her 2 young daughters. All that and more coming up at 4:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Ken Weaver. 26 after the hour, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Yours truly, Matt Murphy, until 7 o'clock tonight, along with Ken Weaver, along with Jackson and you. We've got Stuart McWhorter coming up in just a moment. He's with the Tennessee Department of Economic and Community Development. We will talk tunnel, but not just the tunnel. We're going to talk nuke. We're going to talk energy. We're going to talk a lot of things. That's coming up right after the bottom of the hour. But asked and answered, many of you want to comment on whether or not it matters. I mean, so the attack ads are out. The long knives, as they say, are out. They're attacking Jody Barrett, Club for Growth, as a snake. What do you say? Does it matter to you what he thought about Donald Trump 9 years ago? John is next up. Hey, John, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you, sir?
I'm fabulous. Thank you for calling.
Well, just to start off about the attack on what he said about Trump. Well, to be real, if I go and have a beer, I don't think I could drink a beer with Trump. Did I vote for him? Yeah. Do I necessarily like him as a person? No, I don't. I thought he was best for the country. And that's how we got to vote. We vote for best for the country. To go along with that, Mr. Barrett, one of the chillest guys you could ever meet. He is actually for the people. You look at his record, his voting record, it's pristine. But if you got to look on why he went against some people on some things, it's because his constituents. And he follows what his people say. He a great dude, I'm telling you.
I mean, I hope you've heard Jody the many, many times that he's been on the radio show, John. I hope you're listening.
Yes, I have.
Well, I'm glad you do. All right, good deal. I appreciate the call. I appreciate the perspective. Travis is next up. Travis, what say you?
Hey, Matt. How you doing, buddy?
I'm great, Travis.
It doesn't bother me at all what he said 9 years ago. I mean, none of us are the same person we were 9 years ago. I think that's a fair statement. And to be honest with you, in 2015, I wasn't on the Trump train myself. This is a guy who was a lifetime Democrat who had been a donor to many Democratic candidates, and he's kind of a wild card. And I held my nose and voted for him because it was either him or Hillary Clinton, and that was a no-brainer. But once he got into office and, a year and a half in, I saw what he was made of, and now I'm definitely in lockstep with him. But I think it's fair that a lot of us were kind of on the fence about him in the very beginning. But
yeah, what's most interesting to me about the comment is that it was after Trump got the nomination that he said it, and
right,
so
but he hadn't been in office yet, so he was still campaigning at that point, and people say all kinds of things in a campaign, but.
Travis, not interrupt. What I'm saying is, so if Trump had secured the nomination, so it's just him and Hillary, that's my point, is that, I'm not arguing the point. I'm just saying, he said, the GOP had their best conservative candidate since Reagan, and they rejected him in favor of a New York liberal douchebag, which begs the question then, okay, so if he was already the nominee and you think of him as a New York liberal douchebag, did you vote for him in 2016? That's where I was kind of going.
I can understand what you're saying, but I think it was just in context. He was comparing him to Ted Cruz, and at the time, I thought that we had rejected our best conservative candidate since Ronald Reagan because I was a Ted Cruz guy. So I could kind of understand where he was coming from. I don't think he should have called him a New York liberal douchebag, but I can understand that he's, 9 years go by, people change, man.
Yeah, no, I get it. No, I like it. No, I appreciate that. That's what I'm looking for, is that kind of response to the question asked, because you're going to hear a lot about this, brother, over the next 2 months. I promise you. And, Jody is going to have to decide, and I assume he'll answer the question as he always does. With straightforwardness and forthrightness, and he'll figure it out. It's time for the news on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
.30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. Murfreesboro police investigating after a pedestrian was struck and killed in a crosswalk today. Happened at Old Fort Parkway eastbound there at New Salem Highway. Eastbound Old Fort Parkway was shut down for several hours for the investigation. And the investigators say that pickup truck was turning left when it ran over the pedestrian. A search for quadruple murder suspect Austin Drummond is over. Someone spotted him walking in a wooded area of Jackson. They called police this morning. They swooped in and arrested him.
It's incredibly concerning. I mean, we've been scared. We've locked the doors. We've kept the video cameras rolling and all the lights on at night. My kids have been scared. It's scary. It's unheard of. It's wonderful that he's been caught. Praise the Lord.
Authorities say Drummond hid out in an abandoned pool house and had several weapons with him. He faces 4 counts of first-degree murder for the deaths of the parents, an uncle, and a grandmother of the baby police say he abandoned in someone's front yard 40 miles from the murder scene last week. Right now in Nashville, the state has carried out the execution of Byron Black for the 1988 murders of his girlfriend Angela Clay and her 2 young daughters, Latoya and Lakeisha. Witnesses say Black complained of being in pain during the procedure this morning. Afterward, family members of the victims had their say.
He never apologized, and he never admitted it, even on his dying bed, that he took it to his grave with him, and he knows he did it. And this is closure for my family. My sister and her 2 daughters can finally rest in peace.
Black's attorneys say they're going to review data from his defibrillator during the time of his death and say he should not have been executed due to his intellectual disability. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. All right, the buildup around downtown is getting heavier, both east and westbound. South Loop on 40. You got some places where you're coming to complete stops there between 40 and 65. And then northbound 65 up there to the South Loop. That is a stop and go from 440 to the South Loop. Eastbound East Loop downtown, stop and go before you get to the 2440 split. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
You know, fellas, I don't wish it on you, but I know statistically, because I've talked to Evan Bass at the Tennessee Men's Clinic, that about half the men listening to me at some point during their middle-age years, maybe late 40s into their 50s, and maybe for some even into their 60s, at some point you're going to have a situation arise where you're losing a little bit of energy. This is oftentimes the result of testosterone loss in the body. Now, there was a time where that was just a fact of life, and however it manifested itself, whether it's, you don't want to work out in the gym anymore, you just lose the energy to do the backyard or whatever, cut the grass, or maybe you lose the ability for intimate relationships with your significant other. There was a time where that just was what it was. Not anymore. The Tennessee Men's Clinic can overcome these things with their qualified urologists. You do not need to trust your men's health to an online system or some telephone call or some website. You need to trust Tennessee Men's Clinic. They have 2 locations to serve you. One's in Midtown and the other in Cool Springs. Talk to Evan or one of his team members. Discreet, professional, and they get the job done. Let's get back in the game, men, with the Tennessee Men's Clinic. Call today at 615-208-9090, 208-9090, or online at TennesseeMen'sClinic.com. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I'll put it on the back burner. We're talking politics, 7th Congressional District. And, asking the question because, you know what, when you start talking politics, it starts getting negative, and it's already getting negative in that race. And we feel like we're just getting started. But believe it or not, about 2 months from now, folks will start voting in the 7th Congressional District, being a special election. But we'll put that on the back burner for the next few minutes as we welcome our next guest into studio. He is the Commissioner for the Tennessee Department of Economic and Community Development, Stuart McWhorter, joins us in studio to talk about all of the exciting news that's going on in the state of Tennessee. And not all of it is tunnel news, everybody. Not all of it's just about the tunnel. Stuart, what's going on? I'm doing great. Thank you for stopping by. It's a pleasure to see you again.
Good to see you.
I knew I'd get a smile on your face when it's sometimes it's the little things that catch all of the attention.
It really is. Yeah. I mean, the tunnel got a lot of great attention. We love it because it's going to be a great thing for our city.
I mean, is that something? I mean, as the steward of economic and community development, I mean, I guess you don't want that to be the whole pie. It's just a small piece of the pie, but it matters, I suppose.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, we've got an airport that's growing. It's continuing to grow. It's being recognized across the country as one of the best and busiest airports. It's a great recruiting tool for us in the state, not just here in this community or Middle Tennessee, across the entire state. And, as it continues to grow, having options for passengers and tourists in particular to get in and out of the airport is important. And, I know there's folks that question it. I'll just tell you that, companies that are coming in investing a lot of capital in our state, and particularly in Middle Tennessee, that are hiring Tennesseans, they like it. And, we work really hard with industry to make it a very business-friendly state. And this is just something that we're very proud of. And, I know it's been said, but it's being privately funded by the company. I mean, they're coming in and spending the dollars. So we're excited to see this is one step toward, we hope, as it grows, and I've seen some things happening in Las Vegas with the tunnel project there. Hopefully we could see it expanding to places like Murfreesboro or Clarksville, cities or towns where we're seeing growth, people coming into the city that work, and this is an option for them. And I think that's a good thing. And so, we're excited to see where this goes.
For me, I just immediately become a kid, and it seems so futuristic that I get excited about it. But for the callers and for the listeners to the show, a lot of the, not concern, but just questioning is like, how will this impact me if I'm not a tourist?
Right.
Well, it'll impact you, I think, residually. It'll take some cars off the roadways, particularly on I-40 between B&A and downtown. But my comment was, to your point, if we see this successful, then the idea is, man, oh man, can we not grow it to continue to impact the local community as well as the tourism?
That's right. That's the hope. I mean, this is the first step. This is not just one and done, and it's going to go from the airport downtown and they're done. I think that their hope is and their goal is to expand this. One of the things they had indicated to us is this costing, $12-15 million a mile to bore a mile. And they will have this technology so advanced over the next, year or 2 or 3. I'm not sure exactly the time frame. They're going to have the cost 3-4x less per mile. So
incredible.
You think about that. Then all of a sudden, tunneling up to Clarksville isn't far-fetched. I mean, you get, as they say, if you're presenting an engineering problem, we'll fix that. If it's a cost problem, we're bringing our costs down. So, the math will work if they can achieve that. And they own, those boring machines, they own and engineer that. That's not outsourced. It's them.
Right.
They're a technology company.
Right. We had, I know he's your good friend and you work for him, Governor Bill Lee.
Yes.
We had him in studio last week. Yeah. And I asked him, I said, it has to be exciting. One of the selling points, I said, look, I know that you're not out of office tomorrow or anything, but, you have less time as governor than you had previously. And for them to sell you the idea that, hey, we believe that we can take you from the airport to downtown Nashville as governor of this state, we can make that happen in the next year and a half before you leave office. That's a pretty awesome selling point considering that time frame.
Yeah, it could happen. They were telling us 2 years, so the governor's got 16 months. So we'll see. Maybe there'll be a little competition.
Ramp it up, baby. Ramp it up. Well, I mean, but it does beg the larger question, and several audience members have asked me, and I just got it a moment ago from one of our super texters. So with more electric automobiles, that's a more that's going to drain their grid. It has to. I mean, obviously those cars have to plug up somewhere, and they have to get their electricity from somewhere. That's a part of what you do, is it not? Is to make sure that we have the electricity available for business and commercial opportunities like this.
Yeah, we're partners with the Tennessee Valley Authority. That's our power provider in the state. I think your listeners likely know this. They represent or they provide power to 7 states, but Tennessee is the one state where they pretty much have full coverage. Almost 100% of the entire state relies on TVA's ability to generate and transmit power. And so we work closely. They have a whole economic development team that's our partner in projects that we work on. So when we talk to businesses that are coming to our state and they're speccing out their projects, they ask us, or we're asking them, what are your power needs? And they'll provide a schedule around that. And what's happening is more and more of these businesses are requiring more and more power, whether it's advanced manufacturing, whether it's these data centers that are starting to pop up around the U.S. It's just the requirement is enormous, and so TVA, they are front and center in figuring out how to generate and transmit that power, and so we work very closely with them. But yeah, I mean, it's if we're going to continue to grow as a state, as a country. Whether it's to your question and point around electric vehicles, it does require a power grid. They have to utilize that. But really, what's driving most of what we see around power demand is around these manufacturers that are coming in and requiring just an enormous amount of power to do what they do.
I know that you were recently abroad. You were in France,
Right.
And you and I had an opportunity to briefly talk about this right before we came on air. I think the French. I mean, look, I could make a joke and say the French don't do much right or whatever. They do cheese right and they do champagne right, but
Good wine.
I feel like they're doing great wine. I think they're doing energy right.
They are.
And do we have an opportunity to kind of look at that? Is that part of the reason you were there, to kind of look at the model that they're presenting as a way for us to move forward, particularly when it comes to nuclear energy?
Yeah, so France, the French do produce a lot of their power is generated by nuclear power. So we were there primarily for the Paris Air Show, and that's an annual. They alternate between there and England, but this year was in Paris. And so we were there for that, and we were meeting with companies that are representing the aerospace and defense industries, which we have a pretty large presence here of that industry in our state. But we went down to southern France to visit a company there called Orano. Orano is a large French company that is a uranium enrichment in the uranium enrichment business. And so we last year announced a project in Oak Ridge with Orano, and they're investing billions of dollars to create a new uranium enrichment plant, which is part of this whole nuclear ecosystem. I mean, it's a fuel that is necessary for the ecosystem. So, we went down there to see it in action. It's a massive, massive complex there in France, and part of it for us was to see it. They were saying, here's what we're going to be doing in Tennessee, in Oak Ridge. They're going to invest again well over $4 billion initially in the construction of this plant. They're going to have about 300 employees to start, and we'll expect more. But I think for us and the governor, he was there, and it was really our opportunity to see it and have a better sense of the magnitude and scope of what Orano will be doing in our state.
Where are we? In my line of work, it is sometimes difficult to figure out what's real and what's politispeak. And it's never been more difficult on a national front to figure that out because a lot of the media organizations that are out there, many times you feel like they're presenting information under the cloak of, well, this is the Trump administration or, vice versa. With that in mind, it's difficult to get a feel for where the economy is. And so I feel like if I have the commissioner of the Tennessee Department of Economic and Community Development on the show, I should say, Commissioner, what's the report card on the Tennessee economy right now?
Yeah. Well, I'm not an economist for sure, but I will tell you just from the seat that I have in this role, and I'm honored to have this opportunity to serve the state for the governor. We are seeing a mixed bag of things. I think, large businesses, particularly technology companies, are making investments. They're looking to sort of keep progressing along, and really with understanding that there still is some uncertainty in the tariff conversations.
Sure.
But they're looking at the long game and making investments. You know, manufacturers, particularly automotive, I think they're on a wait and see. You know, they're starting to get some clarity. You know, we have 4 major automotive OEMs in our state. We're just one of maybe 2 or 3 states that have that many. So we're, you know, automotive heavy. We have close to 1,000 automotive suppliers, tier 1s and tier 2 suppliers. So it's a big deal to our state. What we're seeing, though, as a result of just the tariff talk, you know, we can talk about interest rates and whether or not they should be cut, the inflation. I know the inflation continues to sort of hang around. We're still seeing this across the country. Unemployment in Tennessee, it's a little bit better. There is a bunch of demand. There's a pent-up demand happening right now. We were talking, I was with some of my colleagues earlier today, and I think we added up close to well over $10 billion of project capital expenditure. They're just waiting in the wings, you know, that we're talking to. That's a significant amount of opportunity in our state. And what's happening is they're just waiting to see what's going to happen. I think we're starting to get clarity with, you know, the Trump administration. They're getting deals done. I think the other piece of it, what we're talking to CEOs about it, is the cost of capital. So I think an interest rate cuts will help. I think that's just going to get them off their wallet. They just need to know the cost of capital, what that will be, and if it's starting to trend down and they're starting to see an interest rate cut or a series of cuts, that's going to be good for the economy, not just here in Tennessee, but certainly across the country, where you're just going to see these investments are going to start happening. You know, I've said this before, but we were seeing a trend toward onshoring and U.S. manufacturing post-COVID. You know, that created this supply chain issue and challenge that, you know, companies were feeling across the globe, became a real thing here. And so customers, you know, were demanding to be closer to their suppliers and vice versa. So we're already seeing this. And we've announced so many projects across the state because of that. So it's happening. What's happened in the last, you know, 6 to 9 months is that, okay, wait, now you're talking about tariffs. That's impacting, you know, short-term bottom line, but longer term, I need to know where we're going, and I'm going to wait and just kind of see what's going to happen. And what I'm telling you, and I'm confident in this, that once there's clarity, and I think interest rates are addressed, I think some of the stuff that people are waiting to hit go on are going to hit go.
You know, I've been saying this for a while, Stuart, and you can either disabuse me of this notion or you can confirm that my instincts were correct, because I think if you understand I understand how people that wanted to be freaked out about some of the tariff talk from the president would be freaked out.
Right.
I feel like people that kind of get a sense of where he's trying to get in terms of negotiation, the key here is patience, is to be patient, to let him get where he needs to go and not freak out early on. And we saw a little bit of that market fluctuation, frankly,
right?
Where people were like, holy moly, what are you talking about? 50% tariffs here and 35% tariffs there where there weren't any. But now as we walk through, I mean, these negotiations by necessity have to be very public.
Right.
But where we get can be beneficial in the long run if we have that patience.
No, I think that's key, is the long run here, the long game, and having sort of this, you know, 3, 5 year, 10-year horizon. But the smaller businesses, many of them don't have the luxury of that time.
Sure.
And that's where I think we're seeing some of those businesses struggle, because they've seen prices increase, their cost of doing business is going up. You know, passing it on to the consumer is, you know, without, you know, making it absorbent to the consumer, but also trying to keep their doors open. I think that's where we're hearing, you know, a lot of the pain. Larger companies that have large balance sheets and cash to wait it out can do it. But I believe in the long run, you know, if we can weather this thing, those small businesses that are feeling the pain today are going to thrive in the future because of all the reasons we're talking about. I mean, we're bringing back, we're leveling the playing field. We're giving entrepreneurs and small businesses an opportunity to benefit, just like the large businesses, who are going to really kind of keep that ripple effect happening in our economy. And we are made, I mean, Tennessee's so diverse in terms of large and small businesses. We have such a great small business community and entrepreneurial community. that will benefit from this, but it's just going to take some time.
Do you look at yourself? I think I might have asked you this the last time. Stuart McWhorter's our guest. He's the commissioner of Tennessee Department of Economic and Community Development. We only have a couple of more minutes, but I mean, do you look at yourself as kind of the salesperson for the state of Tennessee?
I mean, in some weird way.
I don't mean to talk down
no.
your position, but you're kind of you're there like, listen, this is what Tennessee has to offer you. Yeah. Let's talk about what you need, what you can offer us, what we can offer you, and let's make a marriage.
That's what we do. I mean, we're selling the Tennessee brand. I mean, that's a great product to sell across the world.
What's next? What innovation is down the road? I mean, we mentioned energy. We mentioned the possibility of nuke. We talk about some of these things. Is there anything on your horizon that you want to tell everybody?
Well,
about?
I mean, we're monitoring how AI is impacting, all businesses, small and large businesses. That's a significant thing in our economy right now. It's happening quickly. I mean, it's moving as fast as it possibly can.
Insane.
It really is. We have, interestingly, in Chattanooga, we have a whole quantum asset down there, quantum computing, and that's something that we're going to keep an eye on. I think it's going to benefit not just Chattanooga, but the state in terms of what's happening in Chattanooga and with Oak Ridge National Labs. I mean, of course, I think we've talked about what's happening in Memphis with XAI. They are doing things that a lot of people thought they could never do, and it's happening. And so I'm excited. I think Tennessee's positioned well for the future. We have a lot of great investments that the governor has led over the last 6.5 years that we're starting to see the fruit of that. We happen to be logistically just right in the middle of a lot of states.
Good place to be.
It is a good place to be.
Stuart, thank you so much for giving us an update. I so appreciate your willingness to come on with us, talk directly to the folks, let them know what's going on in terms of their state and the stewardship of what we have to offer these businesses that are coming into our state. Those things don't happen by magic. They happen through hard work, and we appreciate your hard work.
That's great. I love it. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
It's Stuart McWhorter, everybody. We'll be back in a moment. It's 55 after the hour on Super Talk. Hello, friends. Matt Murphy for U.S. Pest. So you got bugs? You got nasties at your house? Or what are you going to do about it? Well, I would encourage you to call U.S. Pest right now at 590-1260. I'll give you that number again. Don't worry. 590-1260. J.K. and Erica Brister, they took over the company, and it has been growing by leaps and bounds. Why? Because they love this United States of America. They hate bugs, and they demonstrate it on a day-to-day basis. They do what they say they're going to do. They offer you a 100% money-back guarantee. When they do it, you'll know that it's done the right way. In other words, whether it's monthly service or a one-off, they can protect you and your family from the bugs that you suffer through. What's bugging you? Well, if it's, nasties and roaches and spiders and fleas and ticks or whatever it might be, they're going to handle it with U.S. Pest. Go to uspest.com. That's uspest.com. Or give them a call at 590-1260. Tell them Matt Murphy sent you to U.S. Pest. Have you, pardon me, Aaron. I don't mean to interrupt Aaron Stokes. Have you been to Volunteer Outfitters? Have you seen the incredible selection? Friends. School is coming back into session, and they got school gear for the youngsters at Volunteer Outfitters in Hendersonville for less money than you're going to pay for those Nashville prices. Secondarily, if you want to outfit yourself for the college football season, they got gear for just about every team in the old SEC. You can find them at Volunteer Outfitters. Secondarily, if you're looking to outfit yourself for the upcoming hunting seasons, I mean, bird season will be all going on in the fall. Well, you need to get out to Volunteer Outfitters as they begin to slowly but surely stock their shelves with all that you need to equip yourself for the outdoors. That's what they do at Volunteer Outfitters. They are just a mile or two down the road from all those big city prices, but they have the incredible brands like Drake, like Huck, like Bandit, and the like. Find them at New Shackle Island Road, just off of Vietnam Veterans Parkway. And when you find them in Hendersonville, tell the gang, Tommy and his team at Volunteer Outfitters, that Matt Murphy sent you to the one and only Volunteer Outfitters.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes, and the search for the man accused of killing a Tennessee family and abandoning their baby is over. Channel 4's Brendan Tierney reports from Jackson.
The week-long manhunt for that quadruple murder suspect finally ended in the woods here of this gated community in the Jackson, Tennessee area. Tennessee Bureau of Investigation released a photo of Austin Drummond just minutes after they dragged him out of the woods here and arrested him. It's not far from where he was spotted on security video that was released last night. He was wearing camo and holding a black rifle trying to get into houses. This morning, officers locked the area down after a crew spotted the 28-year-old. The district attorney tells me that he is likely going to seek the death penalty in this case, but he won't know for sure until Thursday.
And more from ABC's Alex Stone.
4 associates of Drummond, they have been taken into custody during this search. Their connection to him isn't clear at this point, and police say they don't know why the family members were killed.
Or how. Police have said it was not random. It was targeted. Authorities say Drummond hid out an abandoned pool shed with several weapons. Right now in Nashville, the state has carried out the lethal injection execution of Byron Black, convicted of murdering his girlfriend Angela Clay and her daughters LaToya and LaKeisha in the 80s. Witnesses reported Black showed signs of distress during the execution, including sighing and breathing heavily, and he apparently told a spiritual advisor that he was in pain, according to the Associated Press. Afterward, relatives of his victims had their say.
He never apologized, and he never admitted it, even on his dying bed, that he took it to his grave with him, and he knows he did it. And this is closure for my family. My sister and her 2 daughters can finally rest in peace.
Black's attorneys say they're going to review data from his defibrillator during the time of his death and say he should not have been executed because he has an intellectual disability. And later tonight in Nashville, Antioch neighbors fighting to stop a rezoning proposal for a massive warehouse twice the size of a Costco. Channel 4's Amber Jayanth spoke to one who says she's worried for her safety along Franklin Limestone Road, where the Metro Planning Commission says this development could bring more than 800 more trucks per day.
Tana Miller, who has lived in her home for 35 years, has been leading the charge to stop the proposal since it was introduced in April. She says if it's approved, she fears it could bring more problems than traffic jams.
Every time it rains, it floods. The road becomes impassable. And the city hasn't done a study on that, but I can tell you if it floods now, if they take the trees out, it'll flood more.
Those are a few of the concerns residents have. They tell us they also see several accidents along this road. They're worried more trucks and traffic will increase that number, along with adding more pollution and noise.
Also tonight, a second reading of a proposal to rezone more than 300 acres of land in the Nations, which would allow for 40 affordable housing units per acre. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. All right, we're really backing up on the loop downtown. And northbound 65, especially bumper to bumper up to the South Loop. That's backed up all the way to 440 and beyond. Then eastbound 440 is backing up there at 65. And then it's still bumper to bumper over to 24. Probably only going to get worse now that eastbound 24, we've got a crash right there at Briley Parkway. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Hello, friends. Matt Murphy, 5 o'clock hour starts right now. Super Talk 99.7 WTN is just after 8 minutes past, to be precise. Thank you for being with us, whatever time you're able to give us. We're certainly appreciative of it. Ken Weaver's back in the newsroom. He just finished up another stellar, award-winning newscast.
Thank you there, Brother Murphy.
You're welcome there, Ken Weaver. Jackson Williams is always award-winning. He's behind the glass, making sure that everything that happens behind the scenes and right out front is as clean, as clear as can possibly be. Hello, Jackson.
Hey, bud.
You enjoyed that interview with Stuart McWhorter?
I thought it was very insightful.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It was a little economic development talk. We need that in our lives, buddy. We need that in our lives. I got accused of shilling for the tunnel.
Wait, that's not what we're doing?
I did. Well, I mean, I'm kind of shilling for the tunnel, but 0152 didn't like it. It said, whoa, back to shilling for the tunnel. Tiresome. And I said, well, 0152, sorry to wear you out with good news. What would you like to talk about? And 0152 said, just a comment, Murphy. Tame your ego. Love the show. Just don't want you to become another mouthpiece for the man. Talk about whatever you please. I enjoy it. I'm just tired of the damn tunnel. Thanks for a response, Tim. Well, thank you, Tim. I'm not, contrary to popular belief, I'm not a mouthpiece for anybody. I'm not a mouthpiece for this man or that man, or I'm frankly not a mouthpiece for Cumulus Broadcast. I'm sure as heck not a mouthpiece for Jackson. I just talk about what is of interest to me. My job, much like a carnival barker, is to get you to walk into the exposition. And the exposition is this radio station and your time. And I appreciate you spending some time with us. I do thank you. I do sincerely appreciate it. I think we talk about a lot of serious issues. We had a lot of good times. Have a lot of good times. Hope to continue to have a lot of good times. But we hope to educate, inform you a little bit, brighten your day maybe a little bit, brighten your afternoon, your trip home. Maybe your job sucked. Maybe the work was junk today. Maybe we can just brighten your day or educate, inform. And the only way we do any of those things is to entertain you. And I hope that we do that on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Yep. Just to reset real fast. Ken, what starts in a couple weeks?
Football.
I just wanted to hear that. Hadn't heard it today.
I can't wait.
You just want to depress yourself. I can't wait myself. Absolutely love it. You know, and it's 18, I think I'm right, 18 days. Check my math, Jackson.
Oh, 18 days.
I want to say it's 18 days before that
my goodness.
week 0 garbage from overseas, whatever it is. I don't care. I'll take whatever I can get. I'll take preseason
Titans
NFL.
play Saturday.
Oh, and it's awful. It's going to be awful preseason garbage, nonsense, crap. I don't care. I want it.
That's right. Big old dudes knocking the hell out of each other.
Hey,
look it.
Cam Ward.
Let's
First
go.
game is the Titans Saturday.
I like that.
Catch that one on the zone.
And you got to play the rookie, right? I mean, don't you have to play him even in the
100%
preseason?
Well, I mean, he's got to show off a little bit in the preseason, right? Jackson, you're the sports expert of this radio show.
Right.
Yes. What was the question? I'm sorry, I was looking at the text line.
You got to play the rookie.
Oh, yeah, he'll play. He'll play on Saturday.
All right. Well, there you go.
I'm telling you, man, that offensive line, there's some pressure on that offensive line. You cannot get that kid hurt.
What is a successful season? 7-10?
Yeah, I would say 7-10. Solid.
We feel
rookie
good about that
year.
season, right? We feel good about that with the pieces that are and are not there.
And then hopefully you can get a big playmaker for Cam Ward.
You know what I'm hoping? All I want is to whoop up on them Patriots when they come to town. That's all I want. We don't need Mike Vrabel coming in here thinking he's going to beat his old team and show what's what to the Adams folks. Nope. No, sir. We just need to whoop up on those Patriots when they come to town.
We got to whoop up on everybody who comes to town.
Well, I mean, I'm a more realistic Titans fan, Ken. I don't think we're going to whoop up on the Chiefs, for example.
Well, I mean, no, but still, you want to whoop up on everybody.
That's true.
All right, back to the news. Ken, what was that?
What's that?
That was football.
Oh, football.
Thank you.
On Super Talk 99.7 WTN. John in Lawrenceburg says it starts August 30th. I think technically it starts the week before.
Isn't Kansas State and Iowa State playing in Dublin or something?
Yeah, that's on the 23rd. I think that's right. That's the day I have for week 0. Here's what I've done, though. Here's what we've done. Thank you, Jackson. We have people on the Super Text line now begging me to go back to talking about the tunnel because we're talking about football.
It's Jackson.
But for the love, will you go back to talk about the tunnel? We don't want you to talk about the tunnel, but that's better than this.
I miss the tunnel talk. Oh, is that Mike and Old Hickory?
Tunnel talk.
Maybe so. You never know. I'll tell you what, we'll get back to some of the liberal talk on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. What with the commentary involving, I love Trump derangement syndrome so much. And it has gotten to a fever pitch. I mean, just when you feel like it is as good as it can possibly get, it gets a little bit better. And I've not availed myself of this young fella, Rachel Maddow, in some time. But this fella, he's been on. What's so funny? He's been on that MSNBC for a long time now.
That Rachel fella.
As Rachel, I think he's French. He must be with a name on it. Anyway, so young Maddow had a few things to say last evening. I guess it was last night about Donald Trump. Now, mind you, we just had an election. Not a year ago. It was barely over a year ago that leftist Democrats spoke in such a way that some crazy lunatic tried to put a bullet in Donald Trump's head. But, oh, they're back to it. You know, it didn't take them long to get back to it. They promised, oh, we're going to do better. Oh, boy, we're inspiring crazies to do crazy things. 2 separate assassination attempts in as many months. One, a bullet millimeters away from taking the life of Donald J. Trump. Yet still, they have this to say when it comes to the Trump administration. Here's Rachel Maddow.
The thing we were all warning about for the last few years is not coming, it is here. We are in it. This is what it likes, it turns out. This is what it's like, right? It's August, it's a Monday, every day the sun rises and the sun sets, and there are, sports and movies, and there are new hit songs, there are scandals here and there are crimes. There's everybody's personal quotient of family drama and health worries and money worries and falling in and out of love and in and out of faith. Life has not stopped, and none of our personal lives have stopped.
Okay, so she sets yourself up with the sweet. Everything's just rosy and okay, right? Our lives are just fine. We've got sports. We've got entanglements. We've got entertainment. We got movies on the tube. But I feel like there's a big but coming.
But also...
Oh, there was a big but coming!
At the same time, life in the United States is profoundly changing, is profoundly different than it was even 6 months ago. Because we do now live in a country that has an authoritarian leader in charge. We have a consolidating dictatorship in our country.
Okay, so she gets so serious, and it's just embarrassing how performative she is. She looks directly into the camera, and she swallows. And while your life seems normal, while you pay no attention, see, you understand the setup? Is she's trying to explain to you that it is as bad as it's ever going to be. It's awful. It's horrible. It's horrific. And you ought to be taken to the streets with pitchforks and, little torches and whatnot. Storming the castle, y'all. You don't notice it because you're being fed bread and circuses. But it's as bad, y'all, as it's ever been. She swallows hard, and she has to tell you.
An authoritarian leader in charge.
Uh-huh.
We have a consolidating dictatorship in our country.
What does that mean? Let's look it up together. I didn't bother before this segment. Consolidating dictatorship. Oh, look. Consolidating student loans, consolidating financial statements. Oh, here it is. Consolidating dictatorship. Consolidating dictatorship refers to the process where an authoritarian leader or regime strengthens their grip on power, often by eliminating or suppressing opposition. How has Donald Trump eliminated or suppressed opposition? I'll wait. Rachel Maddow's still on the television. Dissenting voices are still on radio. You can still go hear these flaming idiots like Jasmine Crockett and AOC or whomever they are. The Texas Democrats are all around the country, right? Controlling information, manipulating institutions. This involves a shift from a less stable form of autocratic rule toward a more entrenched and resilient dictatorship. In other words, Rachel Maddow is telling you what's about to be so.
And it sounds melodramatic to say it.
That's because it is, you insufferable twit.
I know. But just...
Oh, she does know she's an insufferable twit. That's pretty good.
Go with that for a minute, right? Think in melodramatic terms. Think in cinematic terms.
This is embarrassing even for her. The only people watching MSNBC are the flaming leftists. And she knows that this is too much for them. They don't like the Donald Trump. Look, imagine, if you will, that you're an idiot. Now imagine that you're a leftist. But I repeat myself. No, in all seriousness. What you have to do is imagine that you buy into this garbage. Imagine that you're watching MSNBC not as a study in idiocy, but because you actually believe in this crap. Right? She knows who's watching what few people are watching MSNBC. And I don't go after MSNBC the way that I go after hashtag Never CNN, because I don't begrudge them. What they have just decided that they're going to cherry pick information, lie, cheat, and steal to create a narrative that is anti-Trump, anti-conservatism, anti-American, in my opinion. They want a different form of government. They want a socialist state, and they want to be the media supplier of information for the state. I 100% believe that MSNBC, they are going to be state television when the time comes. That's their expectation. They're bought in. They don't pretend to be anything other than what they are. What angers me so much about CNN is that they pretend and they think we're stupid. But even for her crowd, she knows that this is nonsense. We just had an election, ma'am. We just had one. What are you talking about? We are about to have midterm elections, ma'am. There is a concern on the part of conservatives that they're going to lose they're going to lose certain elections around the country in the House of Representatives. There's a concern that we will lose momentum if we are to lose those elections. Why would there be this concern if there is a new consolidating dictatorship? No, just I've rewound it just a little bit, just because I want you to hear how Rachel Maddow recognizes that she is even losing the leftists as melodramatic as she is.
Consolidating dictatorship in our country. And it sounds melodramatic to say it.
Right.
I know.
I know you do.
Go with that for a minute, right? Think in melodramatic terms. Think in cinematic terms. Imagine the cartoon-level caricature of what you think a dictatorship looks like.
Okay. Let's go with her here. What do you think a dictatorship looks like? Do you think dictatorships have elections? Fairly contested elections? What does a cartoonish dictatorship look like? I mean, when you think dictator, do you think Stalin? Do you think Mussolini? Hitler? I mean, she wants you to conjure those images in your head and associate them with Donald Trump. She wants to dehumanize Donald Trump and turn him into that caricature because, look, it was the Rachel Maddows. I'm being very serious here. It was people like her that led to him almost getting his head blown off. Don't you think she knows that? Damn sure she does.
I mean, it's secret police, right? A massive, anonymous, unbadged, literally masked, totally unaccountable internal police force that apparently has infinite funding, but no identifiable leadership.
It's a matter of protecting your borders. Is that dictatorship? I've got to do a break real quick. We'll get to the end of it in a moment. Your calls as well. 615-737-9986. 615-737-WWT. And if you'd like to be a part of the show, it's 23 after the hour. Friends, if you don't have a home generator at your house currently, you need one. Let me tell you something. Premier Generators is the #1 source for generators in Middle Tennessee, and they are your Generac generator dealer right here in our state. Friends, there are so many different benefits that I could tell you about. the generator kicks in long before you notice that the lights have gone out. Really, I mean, it's almost instantaneous. A generator can power an entire house. That's the purpose of a home generator. Home generators are efficient. They run on natural gas or propane. They're clean burning. They're reliable. Already common in many homes, meaning that you don't have to refill them by hand. They take care of themselves. Consistent, efficient performance when you need it most. All of these aspects of a home generator system are covered when you call Premier Generators and talk to one of their agents. By the way, when you call, ask them about their 10-year warranty. 10 years of warranty. Call today to get this offer by calling 855-POWER-IS-ON. You need to do this today, folks. Go ahead and get ahead of stormy season, which is right around the corner, by calling Premier Generators. Online at premiergenerators.com, or tell them Murphy sent you. 855-797-4766. That's 855-PWR-ISON. Power is on. It's Premier Generators.
Authorities say quadruple murder suspect Austin Drummond hid out an abandoned pool shed with several weapons ahead of his arrest today. This story and more at 5:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Ken Weaver. It's almost 5:30 right now. After that, we've got nincompoops in the news coming up. What's going on, everybody? Hope you're doing well. A little cooler outside than it's been over the past several weeks or months. I expect those conditions to change at any moment. I mean, I expect we're getting sucked in. It is August 5th, people.
Yeah.
Do not get sucked into any of that. It's okay to get sucked in on September 5th.
We've still got basically 2 months of summer left to go.
Oh, yeah. I predict to you, Ken, that we'll see temperatures in the upper 90s before this summer's done. I think so. Upper 90s. And that's real temperatures, not that
feels like.
Not that feels like.
Not the real feels.
Not that real feels garbage that you guys like to talk about.
Yeah, so we should give our predictions on whether or not we think we're going to hit a real temperature of triple digits before the summer's over.
Did we hit one last year?
I can't remember.
I can't either. I was asking, I had my lawn guy out today, Chad. He was doing some stuff for me. In the absence of my shoulder being able to push a lawnmower, I have to have a lawn guy now.
Yep.
And I was talking to him. I said, man, you must have enjoyed this last couple of months or a couple of weeks or, dadgummit, say it right, Murphy, couple of days. And he goes, yeah, after the couple of months that we had before then, yeah, it's been bad. He said, but this summer's not been, all in all, it's not been as bad as it has. And I was like, well, how long have you been doing this? He said 7 years. I said, do we normally get, I've been here 4 years. I should know this. Do we normally get triple digits in Tennessee? And I guess maybe 1 or 2 days a year, you might see a heat wave come through and get us really triple digits. Now that feels like stuff, but real triple digits. I'll make a wager, Ken. I think it happens.
Okay.
I'm going to say it happens. Jackson, where are you? Yay or nay?
I'm going to go nay.
Jackson says nay. Ken, you got to lay it down, Ken. Where you at?
I think it's going to happen before September.
Before September 1. I'm with you. I'm with you on it. You know what's going to happen right now? The news on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
.5:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. Right now in Tennessee, authorities say quadruple murder suspect Austin Drummond hid out in an abandoned pool shed with several weapons during part of the days-long manhunt, which ended with his arrest today in Jackson.
Police have said they do not believe that this was a random attack. They believe that it was targeted. And we have heard from a member of this family or who knew the victims who said that Drummond was close with the family. And in fact, he was, quote, nothing short of amazing. So it's unclear what exactly happened here. Certainly something that police are looking to learn now that they have him in custody.
That's NBC's Priscilla Thompson. Police say they don't know why he killed those 4 family members before abandoning their baby 40 miles away from the murder scene or how those people were killed. Later tonight in the Metro Council meeting, Channel 4's Amber Giant says a proposal to rezone land along Franklin Limestone Road in Antioch for a massive warehouse gets a reading which residents are fighting for fear of increased traffic and flood concerns.
We did reach out to Councilman David Benton. He declined an interview before tonight's meeting, but he did release a statement saying that his constituents come first. He says if they're not comfortable with the project, I can't get comfortable with the project.
Metro Planning Commission says this new warehouse, which will be double the size of a Costco, could put 800 more trucks per day on the road there. And President Trump says his vice president is, quote, probably favored to take up the MAGA mantle. Here's ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy.
Asked directly if J.D. Vance is the heir apparent to the MAGA movement, President Trump didn't answer with an emphatic yes.
Well, I think most likely, in all fairness, he's the vice president.
Trump praised Vance, but he also pointed to others in his cabinet as potential successors, including those who stood on stage with him at a White House event Tuesday.
So it's too early, obviously, to talk about it, but certainly he's doing a great job, and he would be probably favored at this point.
Stephen Portnoy, ABC News, Washington.
That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. All right, so the good news is they have apparently cleared that crash eastbound at 24 there at Briley Parkway. But, boy, we are still really slow there from 440. So is 440 eastbound over to 24 from 65. Then 65 northbound up to the South Loop. You've got bumper-to-bumper traffic there. Same goes for the eastbound South Loop all the way over to 65 and then beyond where 40 splits with 24. And it looks like we've got something going on eastbound over on the East Loop. It is stop-and-go traffic for right now. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
It's not just the Trump special. It's not just the Big Daddy special. It's the Big Daddy Trump special at the Wellness Institute of Nashville, and I'm here to tell you all about it. Hey, friends, it's Matt Murphy for the Wellness Institute of Nashville. I put my seal of approval on the Wellness Institute. I made the switch to Dr. Mitch, and I encourage you to do the same thing. Dr. Mitchell, Dr. Ashley, they want to see you. So much so that they put the special together that you cannot deny. If you have any pain on your body, your neck, your knee, your hip, your elbow, wherever it might hurt, your sciatica acting up, don't you worry. They can make it better for you at the Wellness Institute. And right now, $12. That's $12. We'll get you a comprehensive examination, x-rays if needed, a diagnosis, and a first treatment for you. That is the Big Daddy Trump special at the Wellness Institute. Call today at 615-246-5009. 615-246-5009. Tell them Murphy sent you. Tell them that I told you about the Big Daddy Trump special, and then get on board and get pain-free. You don't have to worry about pills. You don't have to worry about needles, and you don't have to consider surgery. You can get pain-free with the Wellness Institute of Nashville. Online, want more info? PainIsBad.com. PainIsBad.com for the Wellness Institute of Nashville. Super Talk 99.7 WTN, Matt Murphy and you. It is 5:38. My name is Matt. It's on the door. We thank you for that. We thank you for being here. Whatever time you're able to give us, we appreciate you. Really quickly, before we get to our featured segment of the hour, and that is Nincompoops in the News, just to remind you, so Rachel Maddow, over the top, declaring that we're in a dictatorship now. Forget the election cycle. Forget the open news cycle. Forget the fact that we have the First Amendment protecting and all of these things. And forget the numbers of times that she has been wrong in the past. Here's 1 minute, actually 58 seconds, of her greatest hits.
What I have here is a copy of Donald Trump's tax returns. He paid $38 million, looks like $38 million in taxes.
Oh, that's good.
So there's this dossier saying that the Trump campaign and the Russians were in cahoots. They were involved in a conspiracy of cooperation to influence the election to help Trump, put a foreign thumb on the scale to get Trump in office. Now we know that the vaccines work well enough that the virus stops with every vaccinated person.
Okay, that's my favorite one. So we went from, we now have Trump's tax returns, and look at this. He paid $38 million in taxes. And then number two, Russia and Trump, they were working together, and now we know it. It wasn't true. By the way, more on that. The indictments coming down on that are going to be awesome. Number three, and I think it's my favorite one. Hold on, I want to back number three up. Number three is really good.
Now we know that the vaccines work well enough that the virus stops with every vaccinated person.
Huh. Wow. It stops with every vaccinated person.
Thank you, Dr. Rachel.
Yeah, it was a load of garbage when she said it, and it's a load of garbage now.
You have to wonder if the Justice Department is considering whether there is some political solution to this criminal problem, whether part of the issue here is not just that Trump has committed crimes, but that Trump has committed crimes and plans on being back in the White House. Do they consider, as part of a potential plea offer, something that would proscribe him from running for office again?
Oh, you could only wish there, Rachel. That was before he decided to run again. So she was like telegraphing, if we would just tell him if you don't run again, we won't sue you. And by the way, these people tried to get him 4 separate times and tried to get him shot. How many times can you possibly be wrong? More coming up in just a few after Nincompoops on the Department of Justice launching a grand jury investigation as to whether or not Obama-era officials conspired to fuel the false Russia collusion narrative that has been regurgitated, vomited for so long on organizations like MSNBC and #NeverCNN. We just tell you the truth around here. And the truth is this, at 41 minutes after the hour, it's time for Nincompoops.
Nincompoops in the news.
Okay, ladies and germs, there's Ken Weaver. There's Jackson Williams. My name is Matt Murphy, and this is Nincompoops in the News. Our opportunity to tell you about ne'er-do-wells, nincompoopery, all across this great country, all across this great world of ours, and then you get to vote on who you think the nincompoop of the day is. Yesterday's vote came down. Well, Jackson, you tallied up the vote yesterday, didn't you?
No, you did.
And who was the big winner?
That would be Brother Ken Weaver.
Ken Weaver back in the winning circle yet again. Ken's going to try to make it a twofer, and he gets to go first.
All right, boys. This story is out of Bellefontaine, Ohio. It happened on Wednesday, June 4th, 2025. A Bellefontaine man was arrested after police responded twice to reports of disruptive behavior at an apartment building on West Brown Avenue. Around 8:39 p.m., officers were called to the 100 block of West Brown Avenue after a report of a shirtless, drunk man stumbling around outside. When police arrived, they spoke with a nearby resident who said the man was known to her only as James. Said he'd been acting erratically, yelling, and making comments toward her before going back inside the building. After talking with another tenant, officers were directed to a second-floor unit. There they found loud music coming from the apartment and a man singing with a slurred speech. The resident, 54-year-old James Hughes, answered the door. Police said Hughes was not a danger to himself and seemed capable of staying inside safely. He denied any confrontation with neighbors and was given a verbal warning for disorderly conduct. Well, less than 10 minutes after officers left, another neighbor called police. She reported Hughes had come back out into the hallway and got into a shouting match with another man. Police returned to the apartment and knocked again. Hughes responded by saying, "It's open." And officers entered to find him sitting in a recliner. He was placed under arrest for persistent disorderly conduct without incident, handcuffed and taken to the Logan County Jail. I don't know what song he was singing, but if I'd have been him, it would have been, "I'm too sexy for my shirt. Too sexy for my shirt. So sexy it hurts."
I was gonna ask what song you thought it was.
Well, I looked that up.
Blinded by the light, rather like I do.
I got a little change in my billfold. It's going to ring.
Josh, you sing sexy. Josh, you love me, baby.
That's old James Hughes there, folks, 54 years old. You know one thing I've noticed about our nincompoop stories?
A lot of men,
and it seems like when they get drunk in their 50s, they disrobe.
Yeah, a lot of drinking. A lot of drinking and a lot of getting naked. I like it. I like it very much. I'm going next.
Come on.
It is host. I'm worried you're going to steal mine.
What is it?
It's from Pennsylvania.
Oh, mine's from Florida.
Okay, good. Well, then you can go next. I don't care.
You go ahead.
All right, I shall. By the way, 7014 writes in and says, I'm going to read it as written. I have the best Inkapoo. I think that means nincompoop. I have the the Inkapoo. It's a local Rutherford County guy that was on work release. And he was already supposed to get out of jail August 24th. What an idiot.
An idiot. I haven't heard that in a long
No, he said input.
It says input, but I think he meant idiot. I changed it for him. I think he meant idiot. I don't think he meant input.
Oh, man, I have not heard that in a long time.
My grandma used to call me an idiot all the time. Don't be an idiot.
That was big in East Texas back whenever I was in, grade school.
It's big in East
You
Georgia,
idiot.
too. What an idiot. Well, I'm here to tell you about an idiot whose name I cannot pronounce.
All right.
So when I cannot pronounce things, I go back to the Fred Sanford Grady pronunciation of googly moogly. Yes. So the Lower Moreland Police Department, which is in Pennsylvania, Lower Moreland, Pennsylvania, announced today the arrest of Igor Googly Moogly, 44. If you want to know his last name, it is spelled DZHUMAEV. Googly moogly. Either way, Igor is 44. He was arrested for public drunkenness, carrying prohibited weaponry, fighting, and issuing terroristic threats at a bar at the 2800 block of Pine Road in Huntingdon Valley on Saturday, August 2nd. According to the report, the bar's management asked two individuals, one of whom was Googly Moogly, to leave the premises due to intoxication and becoming argumentative. At approximately 11:03 p.m., management reported to police that one of the individuals, later identified as Googly Moogly, had returned to the property with a machete in his right hand and a nail gun in his left hand.
Wow.
That's how you get it done, folks.
Boy, that is.
Googly Moogly was taken into custody without incident, appeared to be heavily intoxicated. Police say he received the following charges: 1 count of terroristic threats with intent to terrorize another, 1 count of terroristic threats causing serious public inconvenience, a count of a prohibited offensive weapon, I assume that's the machete.
Yeah.
1 count of disorderly conduct and engaged in fighting, and 1 count of public drunkenness and similar conduct. No word on whether or not he got out on bond. Poor Mr. Googly Moogly. Machete in one hand, nail gun in the other hand. I wonder if he had a hose, or if it was one of those battery powered. I'm hoping it was a pneumatic. He had a hose coming out of his truck.
Right.
I'll get you.
I'll get you.
Mr. Jackson.
Oh, you ready?
I'm ready.
Florida man who was married to 3 women at the same time sentenced for felony bigamy.
A glutton for punishment.
Henry Betsy Jr. married 3 Florida women he met on dating websites in 3 different counties over a 2-year period. Never got divorces or annulments. A Florida man was arrested after his wife discovered he was married to 2 other women at the same time. Back in court Thursday, his sentencing hearing after pleading guilty to bigamy. Henry Betsy Jr. pleaded guilty for a single felony count in May. When we last saw Betsy in court, he was dressed in a sports shirt and blazer with his new girlfriend beside him. But when he arrived for his sentencing hearing Thursday, he was wearing handcuffs and an orange Hernando County Jail uniform. 3 wives met Betsy on dating sites and quickly married him. At county courthouses over a 2-year period. I met him on Match.com, Michelle Betsy said. He said all the right things, said Brandy Betsy. He sold the perfect person, when in reality, he was none of those things. The third wife, Tanya Betsy, said, I love how they keep all their names.
Yeah. Betsy?
Yeah, it's Michelle, Brandy, and Tanya Betsy.
Just based on name alone, who you going with, Jackson? Brandy. Yeah, got to go with Brandy.
She's a fine girl. What a good wife she'd be.
The wives all blame the state of Florida for not cross-referencing marriage licenses.
Old boy was not married to the sea. He was married to the other 3.
That's right.
Good gracious. A glutton for punishment. It reminds me of that old... Ken, did you ever see the movie Mickey and Maude?
No.
It is the only public... I mean, maybe there have been other films about the pleasures of bigamy, but Mickey and Maude... Just watch Mickey and Maude. It stars Dudley Moore. It is about Dudley Moore cheating on his wife and marrying another woman, and it is insane that this movie got made. But it was funny because it was Dudley Moore. Arthur, Dudley Moore?
Right.
But the movie ends in a positive light. It ends, well, you just got to see the movie. It's insane. He's cheating on his wife throughout the entire movie with this other woman, and she's having a baby, and everybody's having babies, and both of them are having babies at the hospital at the same time. Then they catch him, and
that's living on the edge.
Man,
I want to see what these ladies look like, and what this Mr. Betsy look. He must be a humdinger.
Tanya, yeah. Well, you don't have a photo of Mr.
I do
Betsy,
have a photo of him.
How's he look? Looking good over there?
Like a normal guy.
Yeah.
Looked stressed.
I bet he is. Bet he's stressed out. Jackson, Murphy, or Weaver. Those are your 3 options. Vote early, vote often, nincompoops in the news. When we return, ladies and gentlemen, we got ourselves a Department of Justice grand jury. I'll tell you all about it next on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Man, Jackson is proving that he's learning his audience. He's learning his audience. There's a lot of votes coming in for the J-Man.
Yeah, that's a good story.
That's a great story. Well, Weaver's was good, too. Get them in here. Get the votes in there. Friends, while the votes are coming in, let me tell you, one thing that I know is that if you own guns and if you want to protect your family with those weapons, you need to protect those weapons from theft or fire. You do so with a gun safe from Nashville Safe House. Why Nashville Safe House? One, they've got the best prices around. Number two, they got the best rebates around. Number three, they have the best selection around. Number four, they have professional delivery of their safes. You know, I don't like people that try to be shady about these types of things. Mark and his team have never been that. When you talk about, our delivery's free, you're talking about a safe, right? A big old heavy Mongo, huge safe that you have to bring into your home. You have to figure out where you want to position it. You want to make sure that those people are known to the company that you bought from, not a third party where they just pick some people off the street. Secondarily, it costs money. And they will tell you what the delivery of the safe costs versus what the safe costs. They're going to keep those prices low, of course, but they're not going to lie to you either. Nashville Safe House, just another reason why I encourage you to go, plus the name brands that you've known and loved for years, like Liberty, Fort Knox, Browning. They've got them at Nashville Safe House. On the road, 4th Avenue South in Nashville, across from City Cemetery. Online, NashvilleSafehouse.com. That's NashvilleSafehouse.com.
One person died in a traffic accident in Murfreesboro today. It shut down a busy roadway for hours, and the search is over for a man police say killed a family, then abandoned their baby in the front yard of a stranger's home 40 miles away. These stories and more at 6 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Ken Weaver. All right, you know what? Enough with the votes. Jackson, you've won. We give up. Okay.
3 out of 4.
Good gracious.
Woo.
It's really just a streak of 1, Jackson. That's what we keep up with.
Oh, also, I didn't mention this in the story. Betsy got 2 months probation.
Several people have asked, and I'm glad that you mentioned it. What was Mr. Betsy's sentence? 2 months probation. I guess they felt like the man, my lord, had suffered enough.
He was a smooth talker.
I mean, come on now.
He's a ladies' man.
I mean, you know.
Pulling up to court with your new girlfriend is so bold. Mad respect. I can't even lie.
Strong move. Let me tell you, I have a hot take or two. I don't know if you have noticed, if you've been longtime listeners to the Matt Murphy Radio Show, but I got a hot take or two. None hotter than my take on milk.
Oh, yeah?
I don't care what Robert F. Kennedy Jr. says about milk. I'm not drinking milk. Milk is for baby cows. There are other ways for me to get calcium. There are other ways for me to get whatever nutrients you think are in milk. I'm not drinking milk. And I sure as the hell am not drinking raw milk. Milk is for baby cows.
What if you put Pink Quick in it?
Well, that's different. I mean, what about some...
that milk is good when you put that Pink Quick in it.
That quick. But have you had some of that banana quick?
No.
That is the bomb.
I might try that.
One way or the other, an outbreak of E. coli and Campylobacter tied to raw milk in Florida has led to 21 people getting sick. I'll tell you the story coming up right after the real news on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Six o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic coming up in 5 minutes. One person's dead after getting hit by a pickup truck in Murfreesboro today. Police had to shut down eastbound Old Fort Parkway at New Salem Highway for hours for it. Investigators say it appears the person was in a crosswalk when the pickup turning left struck them. Right now in Tennessee, the search is over for the man police say killed a family, then left an infant abandoned in the front yard last week. That was last week, a front yard of a stranger's home about 40 miles away from the murder scene. Suspect Austin Drummond was finally captured after appearing on home surveillance cameras there in Jackson. NBC's Priscilla Thompson says the child's parents, grandmother, and uncle were the ones killed.
But at the heart of this is, of course, those 4 people who were killed. Matthew Wilson, 21 years old, Adriana Williams, 20 years old, Courtney Rose, 38 years old, and then the youngest victim, Braden Williams, 15 years old. And you also have that infant baby who we know was spared, that Drummond allegedly left them on someone's property and flagged down help as he made his escape. So still many questions today that police are undoubtedly asking now that they have him in custody.
Drummond was seen on Sunday in Jackson. Then he was seen in some woods today where he was arrested. He had also been around a church trying different doors to get into, but this puts an end to this week-long manhunt. Still a mystery of why that family was killed and how. And here in Nashville, the state has carried out the execution of Byron Black, convicted of the 1988 shooting deaths of his girlfriend Angela Clay and her 2 young daughters, LaToya and Lakeisha. Witnesses reported Black showed signs of distress during the execution, including sighing and breathing heavily, and he told a spiritual advisor that he was in pain, according to the Associated Press. Later tonight in Nashville, Channel 4's Marius Payton says a plan to rezone parts of the nations gets a second reading before the Metro Council meeting.
We've gotten calls into our newsroom from a group saying they're planning to show up at tonight's meeting. The proposal is coming from Councilmember Rolling Horton. The plan would rezone over 300 acres and allow for 40-unit apartment buildings per acre in the nations. Some people are concerned that this will force out local business and allow apartment developers to just swoop in and take up available real estate state. Supporters believe the plan would attract new businesses, growing the neighborhood and bringing in affordable housing.
Yeah, Metro Council could also vote on a rezoning plan to clear the way for a warehouse along Franklin Limestone Road in Antioch. This building would be twice the size of a Costco on that road, and some residents there are going to be fighting that proposal. They say it's going to cause too much traffic. In fact, the Metro Planning Commission says it could bring as much as 800 more trucks per day on Franklin Limestone Road if it is indeed built. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. All right, got a crash on I-40 eastbound at Donaldson Pike and then 40 westbound at White Bridge Pike, Briley Parkway West, exit 204. Police reporting a crash by Belmont, 440 eastbound before Hillsborough Pike, 21st Avenue. And then in Madison, police say we got a crash 65 northbound past Old Hickory Boulevard. In Rutherford County, police say there's a crash 24 eastbound at Old Hickory Boulevard. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Seven after the hour of 6 o'clock, and a good evening. Welcome in. It's the final hour of the Matt Murphy Show on this Tuesday, August 5 edition. Thank you for being with us. It's episode 857 of our gatherings together, and we appreciate every single one of them. Thank you for being a part of them. 615-737-9986 is our telephone number. I give those numbers quickly and as often and as quickly as possible just to keep you on your toes. 615-737-9986. 86. Thank you for being around. Several of you are commenting on the super text line. You know, I dropped a bomb on you in terms of my hot take on milk. Milk is for baby cows. Milk is not for human consumption. And many of you try to play the what about cheese or ice cream game with me. Ice cream is ice cream. Ice cream is delicious. Cheese is delicious. I like cheese. Milk is for baby cows. I stand by my statement. Don't try to at me. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Well, it's the same thing. I don't care. I like cheese. I like ice cream. No milk. Thank you.
Those are dairy products, Matt.
Uh-huh. I hear what you're saying to me, Jackson, and I don't care.
What about chocolate milk?
No, I'm not really a fan of milk. Not a fan of milk.
Chocolate milk's delicious.
Chocolate milk, I mean, yeah, if you put chocolate on most anything. If I put enough chocolate on a cat turd, I bet it'd taste like chocolate.
That's a lot of chocolate.
It's a lot of chocolate. But I bet it would taste like chocolate.
That'd be a bold adventure.
An outbreak of E. coli, and I don't even know how to pronounce this. Campylobacter, tied to raw milk from a Florida farm, has sickened 21 people, including 6 children, state health officials say. The Florida Department of Health issued a bulletin Monday warning about the risk of drinking raw milk after 21 people, among them 6 children under the age of 10, fell ill. 7 of the cases involved hospitalization. Severe complications have been reported for at least 2 individuals, according to Florida health officials. The illnesses are linked to the consumption of raw milk from the same farm. Raw milk, dairy milk that has not been pasteurized, a process that removes disease-causing germs. So, for you are there milk purists out there? I'm serious. I want to talk to y'all. Like, I'm an anti-milk guy. Yeah, I'll eat cheese. Yes, I'll eat ice cream. Whatever. But no, I don't know. 3449 says milk on cereal. No, thank you. I don't eat cereal. Why are weirdos drinking raw milk? Well, you misspelled milk. Why are weirdos drinking milk? Who said milk was for milk is for baby cows? I mean, am I not right? Milk is provided by mama cow to feed her baby. And let me tell you something. If you've not seen Dusty Slay, our good friend of the show, Dusty Slay, and Wet Heat, he has a bit about milk. He's like, who's the first person deciding that was a good idea? It's like, look at that baby cow just going to town. I bet that's delicious. Let's get us some of that. I hope we can use a cup. That makes me laugh. Ice cream is frozen milk. Cheese is curdled milk. Scott, don't bore me with details. Ice cream is sugar, is what it is. Ice cream is delicious sugar with filler in it. I don't know what the filler is. You say it's milk, whatever. I say it's filler. Once again, what kind of weirdo doesn't eat cereal with milk? 1221, I haven't eaten cereal since I was a kid. What kind of person doesn't grow up to eggs and bacon and toast and sausage, and pancakes?
All that.
Yeah. Don't. I hear you. I hear them. I've done this before. Well, pancakes have got milk in it. Yeah, blah blah blah. Whatever. They're pancakes.
Not a Fruity Pebbles guy?
I like Fruity Pebbles. I like Fruity Pebbles with beer.
You're disgusting.
I do not drink milk, and I don't think that milk is for human beings. I don't think corn's for human beings either. If we were supposed to eat corn, would God have not given us the ability to digest it? I mean, right? Now, I'm not saying I don't eat things with milk in it. I do. I know I do. And yeah, Tom, eggs. I know where eggs come from. They're little chicken abortions, is what they are, and they're delicious. Y'all aren't gonna scare me off this take. Eggs are not for baby chickens. 2703. Eggs are baby chickens before they're born, and they're delicious. I don't like milk. Never have liked milk. I'll get my calcium elsewhere, please. Thank you very much. Now, anything that you have to heat up to destroy bacteria to make sure that it's okay for you, I don't think we're supposed to eat. And that's what you have to do to milk. In Florida, according to Florida officials, raw milk can be sold for non-human consumption as pet or animal food, which limits regulation efforts of sanitary practices, according to the Florida Department of Health. Containers must have a label clearly stating the raw milk is for animal consumption only. Because of the recent cases, the Florida Department of Health said it issued a bulletin to assist Floridians in making informed decisions about their health. Now, this all comes on the heels of Robert F. Kennedy Jr. declaring that we need more milk in our lives. And I think that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is on record as saying that he only drinks raw milk. And sincerely, folks, I'm not a milk guy, and I like to pick on milk people by telling them that milk's for baby cows or whatever, but y'all do you. I mean, if you want to suckle directly from the teat, that's your business. Your business.
Well,
what? I mean, that's where it comes from.
I know.
Why are we so afraid of it? So just make sure you got a cow.
Yeah, just make sure it's your cow.
Just make sure it's a cow.
No, your cow.
And your cow.
Don't be doing that to other people's cows.
What about a goat?
You know, some folks like the goat's milk. I can't speak to it. I'm telling y'all got to see Dusty Slay. His bit on this, he's like, what? Can you imagine the guy that is like, well, if they tried cow's milk, the odds are they didn't try that first. They probably went to some other critters, you know, like a goat. Or, you know, they probably did a lot of different animals. Can you imagine the fella that drew the dog straw? Oh, no.
Oh.
Why is it that cow's milk gets the pass and no other milk gets the pass? Anyway, no, I'm not a milk guy, but I sincerely don't understand why raw milk is considered by some people to be a superior form of milk when the possibility exists that it has bacteria in it that could cause you significant problems like we're talking about in this story. If anybody's got any ideas on it, 615-737-9986. In the meantime, the Department of Justice will convene a grand jury investigating whether Obama-era officials conspired to fuel false Russia collusion tales against Donald Trump during his 2016 presidential campaign. Attorney General Pam Bondi instructed the Department of Justice yesterday to act on a referral issued 2 weeks ago by the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, which accused Obama administration officials of leading a treasonous campaign to promote the lie that Trump conspired with Russian officials to rig the 2016 election. Obama's connection to the conspiracy that Obama was aware of and promoted Hillary Clinton's campaign strategy based largely on the Steele dossier that they knew was untrue has been known, but has now recently been proven by Gabbard and others. Declassified new information in July, including a House intelligence report originally drafted in 2017 but never released to the public. The report, quote, exposed how the Obama administration manufactured the January 2017 intelligence community assessment that they knew was false, promoting the lie that Vladimir Putin and the Russian government helped President Trump win the 2016 election. The House report, according to Gabbard, found that the 2017 ICA contrived the narrative that Russia interfered specifically to help Trump win, selling it to the American people as though it was true. It wasn't. And all of this perpetuated the lie that Donald Trump was involved with the Russians, that perpetuated the need for the Attorney General, Jeff Sessions, to step aside, that perpetuated the need for a special prosecutor, Robert Mueller, that led to 2.5 years of endless prosecution, investigation into the Trump administration, stymieing the majority of his first term in office. I'm here for this. Leftists will say that this is political lawfare. They can call it whatever they want. It is against the law to do what these people did. And at very least, I could call it sedition, if not treason. 17 after the hour. In the meantime, I've got plenty of milk help on the line, starting with Robert. Hello, Robert.
Hey, Matt. I'm going to have to disagree with you on the milk, but that's not why I'm calling. I was calling because of the Fruity Pebbles comment and beer. The other night I come home late from work and poured me a bowl of Fruity Pebbles and then realized we were out of milk. And the thought crossed my mind, I do have a cold 6-pack of Michelob Ultra. And I decided that was a bad idea. But you know what they say,
hard times make hard men. So
Listen, don't knock it till you've tried it, Robert. It's better than you think. I mean,
it crossed my mind.
What'd you do with the Fruity Pebbles? Put them back in the box?
No, I had to eat dry cereal.
Oh, well, that sounds awful.
It was, but I washed it down with Michelob Ultra. So maybe.
Well, it all goes to the same place.
Yeah, that's right.
That's
you,
funny.
Matt.
Well, thank you, Robert. I used to gross my family out by mixing all my food together when I was a kid.
I'm sure you did.
Like if we had, I especially like to do it with, like my grandmother loved rice and gravy. We had rice and gravy with just about every meal. We never were a potato family, like a mashed potatoes and gravy, but rice and gravy. So if we had rice and gravy and like corn, like creamed corn, I'd mix all of that together and eat it. And it would gross my grandpa out. And he's like, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Pa, it's all going to the same place." And my grandmother would always agree with me. It's always going to the same. It's all going to the same place. So if you're going to eat dry Fruity Pebbles and wash it down with Michelob Ultra, well, it's all going to the same place. Scott perhaps has an answer on the milk question, why raw milk is considered superior to pasteurized milk. Hello, Scott.
Hey, Matt, how you doing?
I'm great.
Awesome. Hey, so on the milk thing, so I grew up on a dairy farm in northern Minnesota, and every single day we had to drink milk right out of the bulk tank. It was not pasteurized or anything like that. It came right out of the teat. And had it not been for that, I would probably not be alive because my mom did not have the capacity to feed me because I was a big baby, and I was allergic to formula. But to this day, I've never broken a bone other than my hands, and I've never had any major illness or disease. So I don't think milk is just for baby cows.
It was for baby Scots.
Well, that too.
Yeah?
I appreciate everything you do, Matt.
Well, thank you,
listen
brother.
to you every single day.
Well, I'm glad you do. Well, and I'm glad you're around, Scott. I'm glad that milk was there for you.
Yep.
All right, brother. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Scott, if I heard the story correctly, survived because of cow's milk. I wonder if he's got horns. You know what I mean? Or hooves. Maybe some black and white patches on his skin.
Are you saying he's a cow?
Tail. Wakes up in the night and scratching his udders.
Moo. Vaughn.
I think we need to move on. It's 20 after the hour on Super Talk. Hello, folks. Matt Murphy for the Tennessee Sleep Apnea and TMJ Solution Center. Let's go talk to Dr. Brian McLaughlin about how you're sleeping at night. Do you feel like you're not getting a restful night's sleep? Do you wake up in fits and starts throughout the night? Do you snore a lot? These are all signs of sleep apnea. And if you don't know, you need to know. But it can cause significant health concerns for you, and ultimately it can cause problems for your family, because if you're snoring, I promise you, your significant other, they're noticing that snoring. Let's get with the Sleep Apnea and TMJ Solution Center. Let's have a sleep test, and let's find out if the FDA-approved oral device presented by Dr. Brian McLaughlin is right for you. It's a custom fit in your mouth. It'll take care of your snoring issues. It'll open those airways up, and you'll breathe better as a result. You'll sleep better as a result. More energy as a result. Win, win, win for everybody involved. Go to TennesseeSleep.com. They're in network and insurance for most insurance companies in the state of Tennessee, which is another win. And they have 2 offices in Brentwood and Murfreesboro. TennesseeSleep.com. That's TennesseeSleep.com for the Sleep Apnea and TMJ Solution Center. Thank you, Ken Weaver. Get to that momentarily. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Ronald wants to know if I'm still on pain medication. Is that because of my milk take? I'm telling you, milk's for baby cows, and you will not shake me off of this. And I don't care if cheese is delicious. Cheese is delicious. I agree with you. But I'm not a milk guy. And I would, okay. I mean, if you force some strawberry milk down my gullet, I suppose I would drink it. Banana milk's even better. But milk, when's the last time you had a delicious glass of whole milk?
It's not often. Probably not this year.
Do you do cereal, like cold breakfast?
No.
I don't either.
I rarely eat breakfast.
9296 says, oh, Matt, Scott's a boy cow. He doesn't have udders. Well, that's true. Fair enough. And Jonathan says, I'm sorry. Hey, Jonathan, your cousin, wants to know, I didn't hear who won nincompoops in the news. Did you tally those up, Jackson? Who won the big nincompoop?
I believe it was me.
Yeah, I believe you know that it was you. Yes, Jackson won the big nincompoops in the news. Thank you, cousin Jonathan, for that reminder. Butch is next on the subject of milk, raw or otherwise. Hello, Butch.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you, Matt.
What's going on, Butch?
Listen, not much. Listen, I tell you two quick things. My grandmother, she's a very old lady. She would never let me drink milk from the store. And she did, it was going to the cat. The other thing is we drink milk 3 times a day. This is true. Real milk. The other thing is on the egg thing, one egg has every vitamin and mineral in it except for vitamin C. And I actually eat 12 eggs or more a day. This is true.
What?
I'm about 62 years old.
Butch.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, so let's walk through this together because I'm an egg man. I'm an egg fan. Absolutely love them.
Sir, yes, sir. All right, me too.
So you go. Let me guess. I mean, a majority of these are in the morning.
No, sir. I actually, I teach you. I'll learn you something. I can't teach you nothing, but I'll learn you something.
All right.
I try to eat 4 to 6 eggs before I go to bed at night, because at nights when you produce, if I can say the word properly, testosterone.
Sure.
I never get that one right.
Yeah.
So at night is when it's more beneficial for you than in the morning. So I eat beans and eggs and beans all the time, buddy. 2 pounds. I make 2 pounds of beans, eggs, boiled eggs. My favorite egg is sunny side up, but a little butter, a little water. And then I eat crate, man. I love eggs. Steak and eggs, bacon and eggs. But and the other thing my grandmother taught me is not to eat a lot of sugar. I can honestly tell you, I very rarely drink any soda or any sugar because of her. And so far, she's been on cue.
She's been on what?
Are you there?
Yeah.
Oh, she's been right, is what I'm
okay.
trying to tell
I
you.
see.
She's been 100% right.
Yeah, I
and
got
she
you.
lived to be very old, and so she told me, look, eat all the eggs you can, drink all the milk you can, cut out the sugar, and no alcohol. Not alcohol, alcohol. And then she goes, you'll live a long, prosperous life.
Man, this
And,
was
of course,
this was your grandmama?
Yes.
Man, she had me until the alcohol.
The alcohol. She goes, well, she lived to be 98. No reason she died. She fell and broke her hip in a nursing home because she wanted to go home and cook. After that, it was over with. She outlived everybody. That's what I'm trying to tell you, Matthew.
You are the Forrest Gump of egg consumption. I absolutely love it.
Oh, man. Yeah, there's a guy named, I'll tell you one last bit. You can look it up, or someone probably can call and text you or whatever. The guy's name was Vince, I think you pronounced his last name, Barada. He was a bodybuilder in the 50s and 60s. He would consume 24 eggs a day. But I don't do that for bodybuilding. I just like eggs. You know what I mean?
So I bet you were, man, when eggs went up, you were kind of suffering, right? The old budget took a pop.
Oh, no, sir. I went to the Amish people. They got better eggs.
Well, they do. You don't have to refrigerate them either.
Oh, no, sir. Correct.
Yeah.
So I usually buy 10 or 12 dozen at a time. So, and I have eggs all the time. So, I'm never, I'd rather go without a steak than an egg, to be quite honest with you.
How's your, Butch, while we're getting personal?
Yes, sir.
How's your gas?
I don't have any because you have to cook the egg. Okay, let me tell you how to make a boiled egg. You got to get a tack, poke it in the roundest part, and put it in boiling water, and all the gas comes out.
So what?
The sulfur comes out of the egg.
It prevents you from being gassy.
Correct, 100%. So you take the egg, get your tack, put it, you know how the egg is, I guess oblong shaped. Put it, you poke a hole in it, and you put it in boiling water. All the gas will escape out of that little hole, and there will be no green ring around that egg, and you will not have any kind of gassy taste in egg. So, and you can make egg salad. That'd be like Forrest Gump, popcorn shrimp, barbecue shrimp. But you can have anything you want. Honestly, it does work, brother.
Butch, thank you for the call. I'm going to take this under advisement. This is fascinating. Butch says if you poke a little hole in the eggs before you boil them, you will not get gassy as a result of eating the eggs. I don't know if I believe this or not, but I'll take it under advisement. It's 31 after the hour. Time for news on Super Talk. Hello, friends. Matt Murphy here. We've got exciting news for you. For many of you who have lived here a long time, you already know that Eurofix has been in the Middle Tennessee area for all of your European automobile needs for over a quarter of a century, and we've all gotten the opportunity to watch them grow. Love watching a hometown business take off, and now their latest adventure is in MJ, Mount Juliet, their 5th location in Mount Juliet on South Mount Juliet Road, right across the street from the Dairy Queen. I know this location. You know this location? You can go across the street, get a dipped cone while they give you that free 15-minute no-wrench inspection on your European automobile. They can serve you in Franklin, 100 Oaks, Murfreesboro, Belmead, and now Mount Juliet. It's pretty cool watching a small-town mechanic starting in a barn in a backyard in a single-wide trailer do it the right way, and they've grown to 5 locations, repairing thousands of cars every single month. At Eurofix, you get a 3-year nationwide warranty, a rental car available at every repair appointment, 844-EUROFIX, or visit MyEurofix.com. Tell them Matt Murphy sent you to MyEurofix.com. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Donald Trump's had enough of the crime and violence in Washington, D.C., threatening a federal takeover. That is the latest in the news right now at 6:39. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Also in the news, from a political perspective, you have, my goodness gracious, the idea of Bill and Hillary Clinton having to appear at the House Oversight Committee for the Epstein probe has me as excited, tingly with expectation as can possibly be. I'll give you more details on that coming up in just a moment. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. So many questions from, what was our caller's name? I forgot his name.
I did as well.
Egg Guy?
Unfortunate.
Egg Guy.
Egg Guy.
Egg Guy. Steve Stewart, buddy, friend.
Pal.
TB writes in and says, I said it wrong. I said South Mount Juliet Road when talking about Eurofix. North Mount Juliet Road. My bad. I apologize. He's also promoting that there's a custard shop on North Mount Juliet Road that is the best custard you've ever had in your mouth. You ever had any custard?
Yes, I love frozen custard.
All right, well, I might bring you some tomorrow just to give a little test on this stuff. In the meantime, Jeremiah has a thought on milk. Hey, Jeremiah.
Hey, y'all got the best radio program going. I love y'all. Okay. But what I wanted to say, I grew up on a small farm in Big Sandy, Tennessee, and we had every kind of farm animal you could imagine. And my mother would milk that cow every 2 or 3 days. She'd strain the milk through a cheesecloth, and we'd each get a good cup of fresh, warm, it was still warm, milk, just been milked. Then it was my job to churn the butter, because we made butter, and Mama made sour cream and cottage cheese and regular cheese. And, man, we never had any health issues or any setbacks from drinking a fresh cup of warm milk, just been strained through the cheesecloth. And like I said, it was my job to churn the milk to make the butter. And it was just a good, healthy way of life. I enjoyed it. I miss it. In fact, I feel blessed that I was able to experience that as a kid, because there's a lot of kids growing up today have no clue what farm life is like, and I enjoyed it. I miss it.
Well, I dug. The life that I grew up. We didn't grow up on a farm per se, but we lived in the country and we grew vegetables and canned figs and we did all that kind of stuff and
Yes,
so I get it. I remember it well, and I appreciate it. And I just never. We had for a while. We got when my mother remarried after her brain surgery, and she married this fella that we got milk from some wholesaler in a 5-gallon crate in a big old bag, and it was unpasteurized. It was raw milk, and I hated it. I just hated it. I hated it, Jeremiah. And so maybe that from an early age took me off my milk. I don't know.
I understand. Well, I appreciate your show, and I sure miss that way of life. It was just a curious form of life, I feel. I grew up a country boy, and I'll die a country boy, and I'm proud of it.
Well, God bless you. I appreciate that. Don't forget, though, back in the day, during those wonderful times, people get kicked in the head and die at the age of, 12, too. I'm just saying, Jackson, that, times were different. We died from a lot of. I'm joking. That's me joking. That's just me being. I'm running out of gas, joking a little bit, having a good time with it.
We're having a good time.
I'm just telling you that back in the day, we kind of conveniently forget that people died randomly. You know,
cholera.
Peanut allergies,
the plague. You remember the plague, Matt?
I don't, but I've read the stories about the plague.
That was just before your time.
I heard it was pretty bad. The Spanish influenza of 1919, pretty rough.
Dysentery.
What they tell me. Butch was his name, by the way, that ate all of the eggs. God bless you, Butch. 12 or more eggs a day. That's a lot of eggs. I consider myself an egg guy. I could eat 6 eggs a day. I bet you I could eat
3 in the morning, 3 at night.
Yeah, I could do that. For your protein, eggs are a great source of protein. Sandra says cows have to be milked twice a day. You're married to the herd of dairy cows. I understand that too. Jason says I pronounced vegetables incorrectly. I say the E in vegetables. I try to, at least. If I said it wrong there, I apologize. Raw milk tastes terrible, says Sandra, when they feed the cows silage in the fall and the winter. Well, raw milk tasted terrible to me every time I put it in my mouth. And I've been doing this subject for 30 minutes now, and I've yet to get an answer to my question. What is the benefit of raw milk versus milk that's been pasteurized to remove the bacteria? What do you lose? Nutrients? Maybe that's an answer. I don't know. I know this. The House Oversight Committee today issued subpoenas to former President Bill Clinton, former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, to compel their testimony about sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein. Hey, liberal media, y'all want it? Y'all got it. House Oversight Committee James Comer also sent subpoenas to the Department of Justice for records relating to the Epstein case. He issued subpoenas to compel testimony from several other key figures, to include former FBI Director James Comey, former FBI Director Robert Mueller, former Attorneys General Loretta Lynch, Eric Holder, William Barr, Jeff Sessions, and Alberto Gonzalez. That's right. We want everybody in front of our committee, and we want to know what happened. You want information, you'll get it, says James Comer. Hillary Clinton being required to appear, or asked, I suppose, to appear for testimony October 9th. Bill Clinton requested to appear October 14th. The committee has given the DOJ until August 19th to turn over records relating to the Epstein case. Of course, Epstein committed suicide in 2019 while awaiting prosecution on federal sex trafficking charges. The case has received obvious renewed attention from lawmakers of all political stripes. The Trump administration is attempting to, and rightly so, I mean, they mishandled the case. We know the background on this. They mishandled the case to a certain degree. We were promised transparency early on. We were promised transparency in the campaign, and we expect said transparency. And I believe that we need to get to the bottom of all of this as best we can. Now, will anyone ever be satisfied? Doubtful. Doubtful. Considering how long it's been, how many different sets of hands have handled the case itself. Let's put it this way. If I somehow magically got my hands on the real story about the John F. Kennedy assassination, if I were to tell you that magically I would find out exactly what went down, every subtle nuance of what happened, every player involved. Oh, no, it wasn't that Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone. Oh, no, there was someone in the grassy knoll. Oh, yes, there were other players involved. It involved members of the government of the United States of America, plus perhaps other individuals, to include perhaps the Cubans, the mafia, and other players. If I were to tell you that I had the real truth right here in my hand, and then I read you the real truth, if I had it, I'm being serious for a second, how many people would believe it? How many people? The only people, if I had the real truth about the JFK assassination, the only people that would believe me are the people that already believed that version of events to be true before I told them the truth. Does that make sense to everyone? Because it's been too long. For far too long, we have ingrained in our own brains our own set of circumstances, our own conspiracy theories, or our own theories, I should say, as to exactly what happened. We have set those into stone in our minds, and we believe that there's been so much time past that we will never get the truth, that the truth or the materials that would present the truth to us have been manipulated to the point that we'll never know. But I will say this. There's no harm in trying. Not on the Epstein case, because I do think Epstein has gone on long enough where that is what's going to happen. I've long said two things about the Epstein case. Number one, there's not a list. There's a file. That file has names in it. That name, if we compiled those names on a piece of paper, it would constitute a list. But it is not a, quote, list per se. Number two, well, I've said three things. I'll add another one. Number two, I do not believe, no matter how much we get to the truth, that most of the people will believe it at this stage because it's been too long. And far too many of us believe that the material has been manipulated. Number three, I do not believe that there is as much there as some people believe. Oh, there's plenty there. Don't get me wrong. But there are some that believe that it is, it's pages and pages and it's hundreds and, of people involved. I don't know that there's as much there as some would believe is truly there. But much like JFK, time has passed to the point where nobody is going to believe it. But that doesn't mean that we should not try. And for all of you leftists out there listening to the Matt Murphy Show, for all of you leftists on hashtag NeverCNN, you say you wants it. Well, now you gets it. The DOJ, that is, released a memo last month that said a systemic review revealed no incriminating client list existed, no credible evidence that Epstein blackmailed prominent individuals as part of his actions. Nobody believed that. And so the latest round of subpoenas come after the committee announced last week that it would delay the testimony of sex trafficker Ghislaine Maxwell because they would not meet her demands for immunity. Oh, there you go on that. On that front. 3043 writes in and says, maybe your shoulder wouldn't look the way it does if you drank milk regularly. Huh. Those feel like fighting words, don't they?
You know, they might have a point.
I mean, should I respond with violence?
Maybe milk fights osteophytes.
How about this? How about I'm king of the osteophytes? What are osteophytes? Bone spurs. What creates bone spurs? Calcium. Maybe I'm drinking too much milk. How about that? Huh? Everything of that? Too many bone spurs? Too much milk. Wait a minute. I don't even drink milk. There's a conspiracy here. Back in a moment. Friends, whether it's a customized pole barn, an event space, a man cave, a she shed, or a barn dominium, you've never imagined something like is built by Stoltzko. Stoltzko has upped the game, friends. These are beautiful structures. They are the leading company in the creation of post-frame buildings. They take pride in providing a high-quality, customized structure at reasonable prices, whether it's a barn dominium, a pole barn, a garage space, perhaps an equestrian area. Maybe it's just foundation that you need or an event space. They can handle it for you at Stoltzko. Visit their website and see the beautiful structures that they have been creating for years and years. And now they have turnkey service. What does that mean? Well, you can be as involved in the process as you want. I mean, you can really act as your own general contractor if that is your desire, to be there every step of the way. But if you just want to give your vision, your design concepts to Stoltzko and let them go to work on your property, they can do that as well. They hand you the keys when they're done. So if you're looking for a mother-in-law or father-in-law suite, perhaps a future home for you to retire in, they get it done at Stoltzko. Call them today at 615-622-5992, 622-5992, or visit them online at stoltzco.com, STOLTZCO.com, STOLTZCO.com. Winding down the Matt Murphy portion of the broadcast day. It's live and local all day long. Cranks up with Dan Mandis and Nashville's Morning News, bright and early at 5 a.m. At 9 a.m., Chris Hand takes over. I believe Hand has Jody Barrett on the show tomorrow. I believe that Chris Hand told me that earlier today. Looking forward to that. Chad Benson from noon until 3, and then yours truly from 3 until 7 o'clock. At that point, in just minutes from now, we'll turn over to Mark Levin, and before you know it, Red Eye Radio takes over, and then we start it all over again every Monday through Friday. It's mostly live and local conversation on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. On tomorrow's show, we've got we've got Cameron Smith in his normal place on these Wednesdays. We appreciate that. Also, don't forget, speaking of Cameron, to join us for All the Best Words. It drops 3 times a week or when we want it to. You can find that at Super Talk 99.7 WTN on the YouTubes. It's on a variety of other platforms. Just go to 99.7 WTN. But more importantly, Senator Marsha Blackburn will be here at 5:05 tomorrow. Ask me why, Jackson.
Why?
I can't tell you. Ask me why, Jackson.
Why?
I promise not to tell.
Why?
Because I want to keep that relationship together. Because she might be making an announcement anytime. You never know. These things happen. Rumors abound. We'll discuss tomorrow on The Big Show. By the time we get here at 3 o'clock, if you know, you'll know. How about that? Marsha Blackburn at 5 o'clock tomorrow. We'll see you bright and early at 3. Until then, have a great evening. Hug your loved ones. So long, everybody.